Late konnichiwa minasan from myself here, while we are in Suzuka, Japan for the 14th round of the 2023 GPVWC Superlights series. As I'm already seeing here, Carlos Martin now standing in for the missing, well, not really missing, he's probably taking his deserved time off. Already confirmed champion Omegogi going to the top 4. He's standing in for him then. It's going to be interesting to see how Carlos Martin will go on coming from Formula Sprint 1. As we have Chuck Major going to the top of the standings with a 146.710. Really nice to see him also from Formula Sprint 1 fighting for the championship against his teammate. Which is here with me as the cameraman, Szymon Frelik. Yeah, me, this is David Jundt, and Toby Davis isn't here today, so probably will be Edward Hunter will join me later for the race, as I'm doing this solo for now. As we also have here David Tonini for TTF Racing, going up to P9, 48.164. A nice lap time. As we also see, it's wet, which I really love. Gonna be interesting to see how people will go on here on this track, like Suzuka, the only figure 8 track on the calendar, with very famous corners like Spoon, 130R, the double Dagners, the S's, like really technical track to drive on, and it will be even more difficult to a bigger challenge to be quick in the wet. But it seems so far that people are in good control of their cars, as I see a lot of, even see several wet tires, which were like, we were debating, or I was also probably debating before the race, when I heard that was gonna be wet conditions, if people will be favoring Inters or the wet compound here, since I think you can run Inters quite a long time until the wet comes in, and it really needs like monsoonish conditions to make them work, as here for Prix Gobi is trying to improve his tap time, and he's going to pole! Wow, looks like the conditions either are a bit improved right now, or he's just taking the right decision for the right tire here, as he's, again, 7.5 tenths clear. Here Remco Dessous, up to P15 for Fusion Racing. I'm also seeing that Brody Lawless is back, same team, P25 for him right now, as we see him here, right here. Gonna be interesting to see about the tire rules, but as we're here in the wet session, it will be no problem about the dry tires, since I will probably not see them today, I would say. What else do we have? I mean, it's already interesting, like Jack Major doing really nice job on his return to Super League lights, or the second category tier in GPVWC. It's already been here for stacks, if I remember right. At least he drove for them. Star Wars Moose 80 is currently 4th. Also looking like a decent lap time so far. Like we've got, it looks, it looks worse than it is. I mean, you can lose a lot of time or improve a lot of time here in wet conditions. Like the conditions can change quite quickly. So as we see here, middle sector, he's up on the time. So could still be a very good top time worth for, I think, the front row right now. No much issues here. It's just a slight wiggle, but still looks good. And he's going to P3. See the last sector already, bit of time loss again, but I mean it's still difficult. And as we have Dylan Platt here, Dylan Platt, challenger for Gorky until like last race for the title, and he goes to pole, and another nearly 7.5 tenths up from the previous between Gopi and Major, as Ragosa went up to 3rd and Tom van der Voort to 4th. So we're in the dying stage, it's like 1.5 minutes to go, and the lap times are starting to fall. So this is the time to make or break your lap time and your grid position, of course. Ooh, I go with a lot of wheel spin there. Still looks very nice, and is up to P2 with maybe one more lap to go. But this is so far a TR front row. That would be nice for them. As we have Michael Francesconi also trying to break into the top 10 again, and it's currently looking very likely like that. So we have TG Racing Esports, and I think if I looked right, we have, it must be around here somewhere. Ah, it's Vincent Gott. Sorry, I looked at like Vincent. He's also standing in here today for Michael's brother Christian. He comes to the Casio triangle, still looks very nice, not a lot of time lost, slight slip here due to the conditions. Could be that the dry line is disappearing again, but it's up to P2, and it's still like 4 tenths behind, but still front row. And Dylan Platt was also on an improvement so far, so it looks like he could even improve the lap time, break into the 44s. Star Wars Moose 80s trying to keep the position at the top 10, and he's... Oh, looks like it wasn't quick enough, or yeah, probably not gain lap time, but here comes Dylan. Looks okay, he's up on all his sectors so far, and it's a 44.166. I think that was a slight, I think he improved it, but very lightly. Oh, my God, oh dear, that's an Alan McNish. Or I think Alaurus also went off there, but that car's totaled. That's its qualifying coming to an end a bit prematurely. Here's Luc Meunier in the drag racing car. 13 for now, but also looking like he picked a good time to go on his last attempt. Coming here to Spoon. Looks controlled. Always the thing to still run onto like your front axle in the wet condition and not go too far and lose the rear end. But looks very controlled so far. A bit more than 2 tenths away there. Just barely a tenth in the second sector. This could be another good lap time. I mean, looks good for Drake right now. That on Van der Voort is already 7th, so expecting Loic to be about the same place, and it's a 45.3. It's up to P2. Just 2 tenths down on Dylan Platt. Very nice lap. There comes Francesconi, is 3rd, oh, the middle sector, that cost him. Could have probably been very close to Platt, but didn't make it. Here's Jack Major on the inters. Oh, the middle sector, ooh. Something happened there, like 6 tenths lost, he was on for it. But he still good enough for 4th. Nice by him. On his comeback there. Here's Carlos Martin in place of Owen, and he's stealing that 4th place from Jack again. Now he's 4th. But also a very decent lap time there. Now Fabrizio Gobbi, but Gobbi already, oh yeah, he's must have made a mistake in the first sector, I guess. So he's not improving, so he stays in P9. But yeah, already an interesting outlook on the race with the slight changing conditions here, as we are looking at the final starting grid for tonight's race, which is Dylan Platt taking pole, 45.166 for TRGX Energy. Loic Meunier, very nice on the front row for Drake Racing. Then in third we have Michael Francesconi for GG Racing Esports. Fourth is Carlos Martin, again Owen McGawkey's replacement tonight. Very good introduction here. Fifth is Jack Major for Red Arrow Racing, which we're also seeing both Christian Pasquale and Joseph Herlock not racing, so a nice flying the colors for Red Arrow here in fifth. Sandeep Singh, sixth for Road to Formula Racing. Seventh is Heike Poom, TRGX Energy. Alessandro Macho, haven't seen much from him, but he made it work at the end, 8th place. Fabrizio Gobbi for the TX3 team. And 10th is Alexandro Grossa for Gallery 82 Motorsport. Looking like TX3 is probably a bit I expect they could probably be a bit disappointed with this. 11th is Vincent Gott for GG Racing Esports, also a very nice result for him so far. I think he sinks like fish to water. 12th is Menno Klont for Team Ballers Esports, that's a very good position for him there. Jan Shikora for TTF Racing, 13th. 14th is Tom Vandervoort for Drake Racing, very nice. 15th is Dominic Koroshavin for Ballers Esports. Looks like a good team result in the red so far for them, maybe it works for them there. Stavros Moussaidis is 16th for Valle Esports. 17th is Michel Galka for PCZW Racing Team. 18th is Lorenzo Capellini for HG Esports Blue Bolt. 19th is Brody Lawless for Fusion Racing. And 20th is Tom Parker for Red Arrow Racing. Nice to see him here again. 21st, Davide Zanini for TTF Racing. 22nd, oh, an old name that I remember very well, Jim Parisis for TX3. Looks like he's still trying to adjust to the wet conditions here. 23rd, Remco de Souf for Fusion Racing. 24th is Flavio Zongoli for HG Esports Blue Bolt. And 25th is Christos Svilo for PCZW Racing Team. So we've got like a gap from like nearly 4 seconds from 1st to 25th, but can be expected with the conditions so far, so a lot of mistakes can happen there. I think we're missing like one card, and I'm not sure which one that is, but I might figure it out. But it's nice to see some either old returning names or some reserve drivers from the lower categories, and some of them already making a bit here. Nice one. As we're looking at the track here, Suzuka, a favorite of a lot of drivers, not just virtual but real. Again, as I said, the only figure 8 track. The closest that comes to this would be like the next track with its pit lane that goes underneath the track, Abu Dhabi. But we're racing no Avenisto, so we don't have anything else like this here. Lap is 4.807 kilometers. It's a 44 lap race. It's also interesting to note, like if we're talking about like Suzuka, like the talking point is often going towards the Decno curves, which we're seeing here right now, 1 and 2, often catching drivers out either inside curb or they run off or too fast and then go off, and then you never come back from that off. And as a fun fact, I wanted to actually mention the person that gave them their name. Back then in the days, I think, when Suzuka first opened, I think Decno was one turn alone. It was like one gradient turn, it was not a double turn. And named was the corner after Ernst Decno, a former motorcycle racer. And he was actually a quite good one at that, back then in the days when the displacements were much smaller than like just 125 cubic centimeters. And he himself was a very decent driver. Like he was driving for MZ motorbikes, which is back in the day, oof, when there goes somebody already spinning 130R. Again, very difficult here, and I've already watched like FS2 and FS1 and the Academy, and I've already noticed that not just overtaking, also driving into it, the stability, you can easily lose it 130R. As I think Menno Klont already showed an example for that. But yeah, going back, Degner was very accomplished driver, works driver for MZ. But then he, well, as we all know, things changed, and there was also the wall, and he later on defected in like 61, 62 to West Germany, and then from on he also had a contract for Suzuki, so he went to Japan, and I think it was in 63, which was like one of the inaugural races at Suzuka, and that's also why he was the one that got them the name for Degner, as he went off and crashed. He actually went off later on, like that was the 50 cubic centimeters, which is actually I think the one where he was actually a world champion in 1962, if I remember right. So he has actually won a world championship. But yeah, later on his fortunes turned a bit sour, since there was a second fall at Suzuka, which led to nasty burns, and he later on had to sadly end his career. Later on, I was importer for Suzuki motorbikes, but then also opened a car rental dealership in Tenerife in Spain, which is also the place he sadly passed away on in 1983 or 4. Would have to check again. I looked at his career, and there were some also mysterious talkings about his death, but it just looks like officially it's heart attack. But yeah, it's a sad thing to say. Maybe a bit weird to talk about this, but I wanted to put a bit of an insight into who is Ernst Degner and why are the turns named like that. Could probably go on more, but yeah, again, I mean, it's also a bit partially political and slightly sad stuff there. But yeah, anyway, we've got also, while we're also waiting for Edward Hunter to join us, I've also got, I mean, we already saw the weather, but there's also the DC decisions I would like to talk about, since I've seen that, I'm not sure if Red Arrow had to replace the drivers or if somebody didn't turn up, but at some stage we'll probably know. But I noticed that the display commentary that we didn't notice back in Singapore, Christian Pascal had qualified in the top 10 on the soft compound and then started on the medium, I think. And it doesn't matter if you have a grid penalty and you lose 10 places, if you qualify in the top 10, you need to start on a tire. But Pascal didn't, and for that he received disqualification and 2 license points, which, well, it's a bit a shame. I mean, he did a very good race, but it sadly came to naught. So it's kind of a bit of a different, like, Brody Lawless case, but in his case he just, maybe he didn't remember the rule about it anymore, and then he started on the wrong tire. But that's what it was. Sad. Qualifying, we had a protest, of course, against Dylan Platt for exceeding track limits, which also got him a grid penalty and 1 LC point, which means I forgot that he will probably start 11th today or further, because I'm gonna have to review more here, because I noticed there was a slight fight or battle between 2 teams here. Which are the 2 teams that were fighting or still fighting for the team championship, which is TR and Road to Formula. And there were some protests against them for, yeah, track cuts during the race, during qualifying, and yeah, this led to several penalties. Some I've noticed that Dylan Platt lost 30 seconds more as a time penalty and 3 license points for all of that, at least in just one instance. We've also had penalties, avoidable contact, for Giuseppe Ragusa. We've got Christian Pascal, who also got one for avoidable contact and forcing another car off track, which was a 5-second time penalty, and then another license point. So in the end he raked up quite a bit of license points there. But yeah, we've had a lot of back and forth. Also, Dylan Platt was protested for, I think, was it the re-entry for him? Yeah, the one that made cost dearly for Sandeep Singh as he spun at turn 2, I think, 2-3 the section, so that cost him a lot of time, and in the end it was also a 30-second time and lead railsy points for Dylan there. And then we've had more for, again, the TR cars were protested for exceeding black limits, so they got like 6 and 2 seconds of time penalty respectively for Heiger Poom and Dylan Platt. Gopi only got a warning for not completing turn 1, 2, 3, which actually caught out a few drivers. We've got Gopi, Desu, Zangoli and Chikora that didn't do this, for which they were warned, or in the instances of Jan Chikora got himself a 1 place grip penalty and 1 LC point. So there was quite a lot of action happening even after the race, but yeah. I'm not sure sometimes if I would... I've heard the word petty a few times mentioned. And maybe, but then again, all of those instances were protestable, and I would say rightfully. I mean, you can, if you have the time, you can totally report the track cuts. So whatever you want to make of this, I mean, you could also say like old McGorky was basically already champion, and Road to Formula is quite a bit ahead in team standings. I mean, even constructors, sorry. I have to make this distinction between like FS1, 2 that are team championships because they have spec cars. And here we have in SL, in Super League and Super League Lights, or Superlights, we have basically constructors championship. So yeah, you could also say they wanted to improve their gap, but again, it's protestable, so we'll leave it at that. Here we have the live standings for the Drivers' Championship. Of course, Owen, already crowned champion, not here today. Dylan Platt is still second on 172 points. Gobi is currently third on 151, which is the most interesting point probably in this race, or in the last 3 races, as Gobi only sits 3 points ahead of Sandeep Singh on 148. Heiger Poom is just 2 points down on that, 146, so I would expect people to be a bit competitive to receive or reach that third place in the standings. Behind that we've still got Giuseppe Ragusa on 107, although he's not here today, of course. There's Jim Paris in his car. 7th is Michael Francesconi on exactly 100. Whoa! Red Arrow missing, doing a Logan Sargent there. Well, I know kinda a bit more spectacular than that. As I think we've got slightly less rain. I see that line appearing again. So, I mean, I see now that we're running people on dry compounds. So, yeah, I'm surprised actually, because I was expecting a bit more rain and more intensity. That people are not even trying dry tires. So, I'm being a bit jinxed here. Or it's just not happening when I want it to happen. But yeah, I was gonna look at the point standings again, but to be honest, the focus on the top 3 fight, I would say, or the fight for the 3rd place in the standings. It'll be interesting to see how this is going on. Again, I mean, we just got like 5 points between them, so I'm expecting them to be a bit even more racy than usual. Although you don't want to go offline now. I think one other talking point I would have still to bring up would be like the upgrades for the teams, if they are, yeah, they are up to date. Like we've got still interesting to see that Road to Formula has that transmission upgrade, which only Ballas has tried to go after. So it'll be interesting to see if this works out here. Like Suzuka, you've got the run to 130R and down to turn 1, but it's probably not the track to really focus on this one. And I think, as we've seen like from a previous interview with Owen, they didn't really focus on that, and it's not really been the make or break idea for them in the development battle. I just see that TG has the most upgrades of all teams, but a lot of this is also tire pit upgrade. We've got TR on the highest count after them. No wait, actually no. They're on 380 actually instead. I'm reading this wrong. It's not after. It's not counted in order of how many. Who has how many? Like they're on 380, but Drake has 427 upgrades, which actually puts them on top of GG, and Road to Formula is ahead of that too. So, yeah, but it's interesting to see again who has picked what as their upgrade. And we could also look at the engines. They are also set up, and I see, like, I think a few people have brought a healthy engine. Like TG has two full 100% units. You only have like Vale on their 33 car, and that's it about, I think. Yeah, even Road to Formula is very close on a 98% unit for the 95 car, but otherwise there's not much really. Other people using really used engines like PZW, or like on cars like a 41% engine, but should be all be safe. Like it's not gonna be that much of usage. But then again, I see the second car is a 33% engine, so could be a bit tighter. But it's not that hot today, I would say. So I think they will be safe. But yeah, so we've gotten like, I didn't talk too much about the upgrades. Like I would have to look a bit more into like the whole bars, but it's still an interesting thing to look at. I would probably talk more about it if I hadn't messed up the intro commentary, which is, yeah, I thank my headset for this one, but that's just how it was. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes not. But here we get ready for the start of the race, which will be soon. And it will be interesting to see how this will pan out. Sorry? Ah yeah, starting order. Here we go. And since we have Dylan Platt and I think Heiko Poon both penalized, even for starting grid, we've got Loic Meunier on pole for Drake Racing. Very nice. Oh, I'm a bit too slow here. Sandy Simic is 5th for Road to Formula. Heiko Poon is 6th now for TRGX Energy. 7th is Alessandro Marchu for Vale Esports. And 8th is Fabrizio Gobbi for TX3. 9th is Alexander Rogosa for Chalory 82. Vincent Gott starts in the top 10 for GG. 11th is now Dylan Platt for TRGX Energy. And 12th was, I think, Menok Lond. 13th is Jan Chikora for TTF. 14th is Tom Vandervoort for Drake Racing. 15th is Dominic Koroshavin for Team Ballers, and 16th is Stavros Musaidis for Vale. 17th, Michel Galka, PZW. 18th, Lorenzo Capellini for HG Esports Blue Bolt. 19th is Brody Lawless for Fusion Racing, and 20th is Tom Park for Red Arrow. 21st, Davide Zanini for TTF Racing. 22nd, Jim Parisis for TX3. 23rd is Remco Dessous for Fusion Racing, and 24th, Flavio Zongoli. And the last starter in 25th is Christos Svilo for PZW Racing Team. Yeah, I've looked past the P224, but we'll talk about them soon enough anyway, as we have, looks like I'm seeing dry tires here. So Loic Meunier is starting on the soft. Michael Francesconi is still on the inters. This might be because he starts on the damp side and he wants to try to also get P1, so this will be interesting to see how this will be into turn 1. We've got 3rd to 6th on the medium tire, probably for a longer stint if it stays dry like this. We've got Macho on a soft tire in 7th, then 2 more ints for Gobi and Rogosa, and Gatti starting on the soft. Chikora has actually elected to start from the pit lane. Interesting. Could be good or bad for him, but at the same time, in the mixed conditions, you might want to start from the grid, even if you might have selected the wrong tire. So I don't know. But it's a happily mixed tire order I can see here. Like some still trying inters and some trying dry tires, as we still got a very cloudy sky here, so I wouldn't be surprised if it comes back soon. But I'm always being put wrong again, so I might be wrong here. Surprised Ed hasn't been here yet so far, but I will try my best here. Let's see how the start goes. as we here have Remco getting ready, Loic in pole for Drake. It will be very nice for them to see them in first place as the lights go on. The first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. And away we go. Oh, already we have someone not getting away and wings flying as we head in turn 1, and Francesconi is trying to go for P1. No. Monier can just hold on to it, as we've got a few smoking engines too, so I was also wrong on about being it cold, but I'm guessing it will be soon be going back to normal as everyone behaves. I mean, there's like only one line here through the S's, so if you go off and you're not on the inters, you're probably going to take a trip. As I think Edward Hunter is now with us. Hello, Ed.
Oh, good timing. First lap underway, so I haven't missed too much then. Looks like it's pretty chaotic as already, judging by that start that I saw just before I joined. Wow, I hope you've not been struggling too much without me, David.
It's fine. My probably boring, boring talk. But
yes, the championship replay wrapped up. Yeah, here we go then.
We've already got a bit few drama here. I think some people didn't get away. Yeah, I think we've got a replay here, like 2 people starting the pit lane, and we've got somebody didn't get away on the racing line, I guess, because I saw a wing flying, so somebody probably drove into someone. We've got a smoking engine. Sandeep Singh didn't get away and lost his rear wing. Oh,
got hit by one of the valets there, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it could have been like sudden car turn off, like I think the Alfa Romeos in Formula 1 sometimes experience, but maybe it just didn't get away, but it looked weird still.
That's bad news for Rotor Formula, because of course they haven't got Owen McGorgy helping them out, so going to rely on their substitute driver to really fill in. But it's Moynier, as you say, behind Francesconi, and then Martin not far behind either, as we see is that Gobby having a go at Ragozza as the rain has started to fall all over Suzuka circuit.
This is then masterclass by Francesconi, who elected to start on the Inter. He took the lead on the first lap, and now he's on the right tire if it keeps raining, but that looks really nice by him. Good job there.
A lot of the people who pit at the end of the first lap, accident damage have gone on to Sandeep Singh has gone to the mediums, but quite a few others have gambled on the inters then. So this could go either way as we run on board of Heiko Poom, having just been overtaken by Gobby, another of the inter runners, as we see Brody Lawless starting to lose positions and Maggio dropping well down the field.
I'm expecting that's a Degno. Because I think I talked extensively about the name of the We've got a lagging. Maggio's lagging then, as Szymon calls out there.
That's not ideal. He's on the wrong tyres, and it started to rain, and he's lagging. So that's 3 things that he is struggling with then. But he's right behind on the Gallery 82s. Okay,
so we're hearing he's actually
it's Tom Parker. He's not actually fighting with Maggio. He's fighting with Musadis, who's now making up another position. I think Musadis was the guy who hit the back of Sandeep Singh on the first lap, wasn't he?
I'm already thinking back.
Capolini!
Oh no! Oh, track block!
Absolute chaos there.
Oh good lord! Like one car like sliding past. This reminds me of that Super GT crash just a few races back, where one car was totaled by crashing there actually.
Capolini's on the outside, he's got Musadis on the inside, makes a bit of contact, that forces him out wide, and then one of the red Archer guys just hits him in the back. That's number 18, isn't it? And then he gets collected by the pack, loses the left-hand side of his car then.
Oof, that was... I don't know, he got pushed, onto the...
Here's Villa desperately trying to avoid it. And a bit of contact at the rear, but I think he's just about got away with that. PZZW will be breathing a sigh of relief there, because that was a ants wetting moment there.
Wow,
see the 2 TRs right together in 7th and 8th. They both on different tyres. No, they're both on the green tyres, which are, of course, the mediums. So they've gone differently to everyone ahead. And really, they're in a fight with Martin to try and close in Rotor Formula in the lead of the team's championship. With Sandeep Singh sort of out of play a long way down the field, there's a big opportunity for them here. And Capolini as expected, has retired and is still there, just been passed by Singh now for 24th.
I would be surprised, maybe his engine was also dead, but he got pushed wide there. Then he still recovered nicely, but then he got a bit pushed by the Red Arrow car. I'm not sure if that was Tom Parker. And then I think he seemed to slow down, and then Tom was caught out and spun him into the wall, so bad luck there. But yeah, back to the lead fight here, and it looks like it's still not so much wet that the dry tires cannot hold on. A dive move there by we have Ragosa, yeah, wow, and because both of them as they were side by side with the
Dylan Platt get through here. Oh, Ragosa loses it through the S's, and Dylan Platt's gonna have to go the long way around, or around the outside. Ragosa, brilliantly recovering there, but he's not looking planted on these exits at all. You say the rain is coming down harder, but the inters don't seem to be getting any more grip.
Yeah, not yet. I would say as long as it's not raining too hard, and many cars still have radial line that could still be dry enough for the dry tires not to lose too much speed, as we have Ragosa here. Replay on the attack. Oh, just about getting alongside, and oof. Slight interlock, maybe.
He did that all on the brakes though, didn't he? So that was a last of the late breakers attempt from Ragosa. He came from so far back there. Gobby sort of turned in and was caught by surprise. Absolutely. Both of these guys on the inters as well. So this is really where they need to start making progress. They can't afford to keep tangling like that. There we go. And this is Tom Parker then. What's happened to the Red Arrow driver? I think he was who we saw crashing into Cappellini earlier, wasn't it? And is that Singh? No, it's one of the Pixelate cars just going up the inside. And Tom Parker is left stranded on the outside. We see so many times in these races at Japan, if you get stuck on the outside at turn 1, then you're in trouble. As Zanini, just completely drops it on the curb at Degler 1, and agonizingly slowly into the wall, but kept his front wing though, so it's not completely a washout for Zanini, but he's got going again in 21st, just ahead of Tom van der Voort.
I've also noticed that it must still be so dry. I think Ragosa overtook with DRS or came close. So we're still kind of dryish, as here Brody Lawless also uses DRS to go up into 10.
Dylan Platt's got by Ragosa actually. That's what's happened there. So the mediums are actually still working pretty well. And this means that both the TR Motorsport cars, as you see Remco in trouble and getting hit by, is that one of the Red Archers? The Red Arrows, sorry.
Everyone's still having a lot of trouble here, like turn 1, 2 is always a tricky one, for those people that watched like in FS2, FS1 in the academy, and it wasn't even wet. Oh boy, that's the lag. Oh, Macho disconnected coming from Szymon.
Oh, that's a big shame for Alessandro, because he was actually doing pretty well in his first two races in Superlights. He was on pole here in FSR Academy as well. Unfortunately, the race didn't quite go his way. Moyni's made a big error there, really struggling actually on those soft tyres at the chicane, and that potentially could allow Jack Mayer to start giving him trouble, of course. Jack Mayer filling in at Red Arrow. There we go. There's the other Red Arrow of Tom Parker just clattering into the side of, that's the second TX3, isn't it? That's Ragusa, is it?
He just came in to say hello. No, the second Ragusa's not here. It's an old famous driver. It's Jim Paresis.
Jim, the Greek driver. Yeah, and this is Tom slowing right down and then losing it completely. What on earth is happening there? Was he trying to not get a corner cutting penalty or something? Then just completely dropped it.
But it looks, maybe the car's also a bit damaged now. Turn 1. No! Oh,
goes
no.
like Moynier.
Oh, very artistic though. 10-10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 for style, but minus several million for bad thinking there. It's Brody Lawless. You're not going to overtake round there on the gravel, mate. That's Kurashavin's going to easily hold on to that 10th, and through goes Mercedes.
It's chaos right now at turn 1, 2. Everyone trying to adjust to the conditions changing all the time, and they're missing the line. And too bad for Drake here that Loic Meunier was about to take P1 again, but it was never gonna happen. Like even Francesconi told him, no, don't do it. It was too much risk.
I'm not sure what Loic was. He sort of thought maybe he could just do it all on the brakes there, and unfortunately there wasn't quite enough room, as we see Brody Lawless under attack by, is that the Pixelate of Jan Sikora and the TX3 of Parisis, we were just talking about as well. Here's his teammate Gobby in a fight with Ragozza there. Both of these guys on the Inters, and they've got Vincent Gutt right behind on the soft tires as well. So this will be interesting if Vincent can maybe catch one of these two unawares. But Gobby coming undone there. And now Sikora tries once again to do the same thing at 200R, going up the inside at Boone on Brody Lawless. And Lawless is under attack from Jim Parisis too. Jim Parisis gives him two free hits there, I think, for good measure. And Parisis there on his Inters making up ground.
This is really interesting. Like, I think even Jim Parisis, I'm not too sure about it anymore, but if I remember right, he was like in one of the first Formula Challenge seasons before it was rather recently renamed to Formula Sprint 2, and I think he took the championship title back then. I'm not too sure anymore, but I remember him driving.
His helmet says FS2 champion. He's currently leading FS1 as well. Here we go. He's in Superlights early promotion already then, and it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Carlos Martin doing a very good job here. Is Jim Parisis having a little look up the inside of Sikora. Then side by side they go through the exit of turn 1, 2, and Sikora just spins the wheels up there, and Jim Parisis gains another position. Now he's into 14th place, so we're starting to get into territory because Jack Mayer is not closing on Michael Francescani. In fact, he's got Carlos Martin 5 tenths behind him at the moment. Last step for Francescani, 1:43.3. Jack Mayer a tenth slower, Martin another tenth slower. And meanwhile, Loic Moynier, he is in between the two TR Motorsports Geeks Energy cars. So that's really bad news for Dylan Platt. He would have hoped to be ahead of Moynier and maximise the damage they can do on Road to Formula.
Ghost driving really adventurous right now. It's like, oh no, I didn't say anything. he's losing it so much, even on the Inters, and he should be the one that has more grip. But
there's a bit of a dry line emerging, isn't there? And maybe he's burnt them out too early on.
It's still there, yeah. But he was nearly going off at the Techno, so is that?
Thought he hit the white line there. Maybe he's just almost swapped ends on him there. Just at mid-corner, which is very unusual, but that's the nature of the low grip conditions, isn't it?
His steering wheel looks a bit bent, even for taking a turn. It kind of looked not straight, so I'm a bit unsure about his car, so that could also be a problem, as Martin is taking second here from Jack Major. So it's looking good for him and for Road to Formula to actually increase their lead in Constructors' Championship, as we have got Loic Moynier in the pits actually.
I go Prüm crucially pitting as well. Prüm giving up a 4th position in the race then.
That was probably time, I would say. Like, I see, you can see now the puddles coming. It's getting even more wet, so I'd say it's soon over for everyone running the dry tire.
Default going 3 wide close there with Prüm, and is that Sikora as well? No, it's Zanini, sorry. Here we go, that was a bit hectic coming out the pits there, and Van der Voort had just enough room to squeeze down the middle, and there's good spatial awareness there. But as you say, it's not drying up, and Van der Voort goes round, and that's the old Inters for you, just completely out of grip there, and Tom Van der Voort asking just a little bit too much of him.
In fact, it looked like he floored it to go across the track and not be in the way when he rejoined. Just on steering in, they were just going, so I must have probably been overheated. That was close. But
yeah, lucky he didn't collect Sikora there. Zanini, sorry. But yeah, the thing is, the medium runners up front, Martin Mayer Platt there in the 144s, Francescani in the 143.8s. So it's not drying out. They're all going to have to come in, and Francescani's going to end up with a big lead over Gobby here once this shakes out.
Yeah, it's like, that was, again, as I said, that was, I mean, reading the maybe weather radar and maybe just getting it right. So he got lucky, and now it's a stroke of genius, and he's just running away at the front. As Karashavin is now up to 6th through some of the pit stops, as we've got like all of Martin, Major, Platt, Ragosa pitting now, and I'm expecting probably the same from Gutt and Musaidis.
Yeah, so Ragosa is getting off a pair of Inters and presumably onto another pair of Inters, or is he going to go for the full wets here? Does he think it's going to get much worse really soon? It doesn't look like it. We're going to see light rain, I think, for a while now. But yeah, this has really worked out for Francescani. 10.7 second lead over Fabrizio Gobbi. But look further down, Carlos Martin, where's he going to filter out in this relative to the TR Geeks Energy cars? he might have actually come out ahead, you know, because I think the order is going to be Martin, Mayer, Moynier, Hume, and Platt. So Moynier's got back ahead of them.
I've looked at Rogosa's steering, and I'm not sure if he turned in on the pit box, but it looked really bent. So I'm still unsure how drivable his car is right now. But it looks like he either repaired or he just kept on going. So he's now down to 17th place. As we have got now Menno Klont in 5th place right now for Ballers. Nice job there. And he's currently following Jim Parisi's, who has gained 18 places from the starting grid, which is actually exactly opposite of Sandeep Singh, who lost 18. But yeah, Jim on by now a bit older intermediates. It's a great job to be already in 4th place, not 14th. Sorry.
I think Sandeep Singh is doing well just to stay in the race, having lost his rear wing, because that's a huge repair job. So like he didn't take more serious damage when he got hit in the back by Mercedes, who's incredibly back in the points now. Here he is up the inside of Vincent Gutt, and Vincent in the Drake car can do nothing to stop it. And is that going to be is that Galka? No, it's Michal Galka in the PZZW who's just slotted through there, and that's actually Tom van der Voort, not the driver that I said it was. Vincent Gutt, of course, who's just ahead of them.
I see Cora's also in the pits now from like P8, and Martin filled it out back in 6th to finish that, and he reached like 3 to 4 seconds ahead of both TR cars. So yeah, worked out well for him.
Yeah, the two teams that have called this absolutely perfectly are TX3 and Ballers Esports with Kurashavin and Menno Klont as well, as there's Sikora getting back into the race down in 14th position as somebody else pits behind him. That's Tom van der Voort, somewhat unsurprisingly, I think, given the spin he had in the S's.
Might also depend on, I mean, some people maybe had expected there to be rain when they looked at the weather radar like several days ago, or could get a hunch, but some others didn't, or some are just also got the tire right, but also maybe have a setup that is more either for dry or the tire, you know, driving behavior that they might get on better, and if they started on Inters, that they can maybe make them a bit longer last, as we've got Christos Wheeler with also a nice pirouette here. In
a big 360-degree spin, but the steering does not look straight there on that PZZW, so Svillo might be in trouble. Oh, and Martin, I was just about to say, this race is going to be about how much ground Martin and the TR cars can make up there, but Martin has already passed Menno Klont then for 5th into Spoon, and now Jack Mayer is going to see his chance up the inside then of the Ballers Esports car. Is Menno going to defend this on the outside at 130R in the wet? Oh, he's going to try, but he's going to have to just blip out of the throttle, and the Arrow Racing car is going to get through into the top 6. But Jim Parisis has already been overcome by Carlos while we've been watching that. Martin is flying.
This could also be playing in because, like, after a few laps, or like even just like A-Force tires laps, it could be that the tires are already wearing out, and on a fresh set you will be immediately flying again, as Loic Meunier also passes Menno here into turn 1 for 7th. Yeah, just getting notified, Indus are probably dead there, but yeah, I think you can, in wet conditions right now with these tires, you could be stopping even more than usual, like, whoa, oh, nice one, crossing to the right side at the right moment and just passing right at the right moment into Spoon. Good pass by Carlos Martin here.
Gone there. And it's a similar state for Jim Parisis as well. Ooh. Oh, there we go. Just asking a bit too much on the curb there.
At the moment, yeah. But a nice court still, like... yeah, one twitch, then on the AstroTurf, and on the AstroTurf there's even more icy, but really nice caught by Jim Parisis there.
Isn't there a legendary video with Jim Parisis where his rig falls apart on him as he's going mid-corner? So he has a crash in the game and in real life at the same time. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, his main monitor fell over. But this is probably
a big load of experience in sim racing. Like you say, legendary driver here, and the group driver under attack from the British driver, Jack Mayer, our leader in Formula Sprint 1. Making his one of his debuts in Superlights. I think he's probably not been here before. Is he going to have a peek up the inside into 130R? Nope. And that's going to back Jack Mayer into Moynier potentially as Jim Parisis goes off track yet again. And now Moynier is going to follow through around the outside as well. Oh, and he's going to make a little bit of contact as Parisis is wide, and the two TR cars are going to sweep through comfortably there.
Yes, he's probably not used to. Oh, Koroshavin is now pitting.
Yeah, pitting in the moment.
Yeah, it's probably Jim is also probably not used to the tire model or the tire life here. So, I mean, of course, he came from nearly like what was it, like 20th place or something, and he's not used to it. So of course he did a great opening stint, just surviving. But of course now he's one of those that is on the old Inters, as Tom Parker has another moment and a spin at turn 2. Oh, he had enough. Just notified, yep, Tom Parker DNF'd. It's a shame, but he's probably not enjoying himself out there. So after that spin, it was enough for him, as we have Prix here. His second time on that AstroTurf, he didn't like it. Lost the place, and then, yeah, that tire interlock again, that you cannot avoid that really. If you lock tire with somebody, it makes either one or both of them spin, or just unsettles the car. And so Loic went past, and also Heiko Poom, and he's now down to 8th behind both TR cars.
And interestingly here, Dylan Platt attempt faster than Heiko Poom on that last lap as Heiko goes wide. I was just about to ask if they were going to do team orders, but Heiko has made the decision for them by going a bit wide on the exit of Spoon there. And luckily, big gap to Paresis, who's now starting to hold up Menno Klont actually, and Musadis 6 seconds down the road as well. So here we go. Jim Paresis and Menno Klont go side by side. Menno, I think, has kept the tyres alive slightly better than Jim. So through he goes. Is Jim going to give us another grass cutting moment here on the exit 130R? No, he is not, and he just about gets stopped in time for the chicane as Sikora is under attack from Kurashavin on those fresh tires. Kurashavin just intimidating on the inside. Then he's going to try and go around the outside at the Casio triangle, and he's given just enough space. Runs him a little bit wide. Lots of wheel bang between these two, and Sikora is almost bullied out of the way.
Yes, we have Paresis now in the pit lane, and Menno Klont as well, so both pitting at the same time. As it continues, Sikora tries taking the inside for turn 1. Yep, sticks. Keeps it in, but will there be a crossover? Yeah, there is.
Kurashavin's got much more grip. He's going to go all the way around the outside of the S's. There we go. Superbly judged by Dominic Kurashavin. And a crucial move for him, because he needs to, while these Inters are fresh, make the most of them, because even the leaders, they're probably not going to be able to stretch the Inters to the end, certainly not to the end of the race. And it really depends on the conditions, though, how long they're going to stay out, whether they think it's going to dry up again or not, or in fact get worse and everyone will have to switch to extreme wets.
Got to replay Heiko Poom. This is his moment where he understeered on. Yeah, he went a bit too wide. Just a slight miscalculation by him, because the line otherwise would have looked right. He just opened too early. So you got Ragosa here. His steering looks okay now. Yeah, it looks. Oh, he caught the AstroTurf on the entry, and then the car just slid straight. But at least no harm, no foul done. Didn't lose anything.
It wouldn't have lost too much time, actually, because he went wide enough to sort of make sure he didn't lose his momentum on the exit going into 130R. But anyway, I'm sure if you heard an alarm earlier, that was my alarm for the oven finishing my dinner. So I'm going to go downstairs and eat that now for 5 minutes and then come back, because I don't think there's going to be a moment in the race where it settles down. So I may as well just get it out of the way and come back, David, if that's okay. Oh, big crash.
Oh, Kurashavin.
To illustrate my point, Kurashavin after that brilliant overtake in turn 1 is going to all wrong on the exit 130R and is in the wall and potentially out of the race.
I wonder if that engine is still running, because otherwise I'd probably moved by now. So we got Ragosa here again. Don't tell me he's got any moments. Yeah, he does. Oh,
it's not the first time he's done that, is it?
What is it with him and that turn? Like he's nearly drifting there. Induced.
In the dry, that's not really a turn where anything happens, is it? But in the wet, it absolutely is, because it's such a constant radius right-hander. And this is Kurashavin. Does he just drop it all on his own? Oh, there we go. He gets swapped ends, and the front wing pours off, and he just about gets avoided by. That must be Ragosa in the Camry 82, just getting by him actually.
Too bad. Yeah, too wide, and then he had the correction. Then on the curb, then he slipped, and then he lost it. It's not even the AstroTurf that both made him slip and kind of, got under the undertray of the car and unsettled it. No, it just lost it on it. It's a shame, because he looked really good and a great improvement all over the season. So shame for him. So we're down to 21 cars, as Sandeep Singh is now the last car still running. As you've already lost now Coro Shavin, Tom Parker, Alessandro Maggio and Lorenzo Cappellini. At the front, we've got now Francesconi, the pit lane, finally after like 15 laps. Which, I'm a bit unsure if this might be the absolute perfect call, like he's basically a third in a race. But I was a bit worried that he'd stayed out so long and lost basically the advantage and gave it to the other guys, but maybe now he will just come back and fly past them on his fresh set, as he rejoins in 6th now. As it doesn't seem like anytime soon it will lay off, and to be honest, looking at the radar radar, even if it downgrades from like the thunderstorm advisory messages that were displayed for Suzuka, even if it goes down to just showers, I think it's gonna take several hours, so I'm not expecting it to drop off anytime soon. As we've got Loic Meunier, who's now back in 3rd, still doing a good race, and he's being hounded by Dylan Platt in 4th. Both of them just like 6 seconds or like 5.5 away from the now leader Carlos Martin. Let's see if Dylan Platt can attack here. Platt can attack, this is nice rhyme. But so far seems more like he's holding station maybe, like as you've seen before, if you start fighting you're gonna lose time, naturally. So you got a replay here. Christos Svilo, 16th now. Casey Triangle, and looks good so far. It's surprising snap from the car there, like on the power, but at least no wing lost, so he can continue still. As we're now down here to P8 to Vincent Gott, who's having a also a bit too wide here at Spoon, but again, as I nearly wanted to explain with Ragosa earlier, Spoon is now kind of a car park, so there's no gravel traps. No, just replay, this just happened. And we have now here Dylan Platt taking actually 3rd from Loic Meunier, so I jinxed myself again. Dylan Platt was not intending to wait, he's gonna go get on it directly and take 3rd. And going after Jack Major in 2nd, which is about 3 seconds away from him. Let's see if he catches up to him soon. Now we're down here to P10, as it seems like people got a bit used to now turn 1 and 2, and no more big offs. Gopi trying to pass Galka for P9, at least he's following closely. And this reminds me of Spa, so I'm hoping for Michel that this time he will have a bit more luck and score some points. As they're both following, which is actually Vincent Gott. Oh, slight twitch there, but all okay. Oh, but his exit was a bit too slow. Now Gopi, no, there's not enough. Probably the better tires trying to go alongside, but outside there's no grip and he's slotting in behind. But yeah, I see Galka has some grip issues already, or well, I don't know. I could check this. If I look at the stints, like Galka's like 8 laps in, Gopi is of course Gopi is on a fresh set, so he's got like 7 laps fresher tires, so I'm not surprised. Yeah. But so far here there's no good place to pass. Maybe to the Cassia Triangle. But yeah, he thought about it. That is P11, that is Shikora with that move went a bit deep, but he was fighting Ragosa in the background. As Heiko Pum is now in the pits, going probably also for a fresh intercept, because I don't see wet being used right now, as we've got Gopi finally on the attack, and he takes the place into turn 1 from Galka. Shikora now has actually lost the place again to Ragosa. I'm also gonna check that Ragosa is on a also 8 lap set. No, they are like 1 lap away from each other, so they're both nearly equal tires, but Ragosa now took the place. As we're now looking at former race leader Michael Francesconi, down in 5th, but last lap time nearly 1.5 seconds faster than Loic Meunier, in 4th ahead of him, so With just 8 seconds off the lead, this could be quite quickly advanced towards the top again. Gobi now going for 7th, and he takes it. Nice move. Past Vincent Gutt. As we've got more yellow, and there's Brody Lawless off in the background, I see. At the, I'm not sure, I think was the Dunlop. Was it Dunlop up the hill? But anyway, lost it, slightly off, and gonna think he probably went a bit too wide. Oh, he's already drifting there. Oh! Okay, no, he didn't go wide. His rear end ended up going wide, and he spun off, but no touch with Barry, so his car is okay. He can rejoin. So go back to the fight for P8 now. Vincent Gutt now on his slightly older set, holding up the 3 drivers behind him. All up to P11 now. Okay, no, I'm lying. It's just 3 cars now. As Shikora decides, is it Shikora? Yeah, Shikora goes for the pits after just about 8 laps, like 8-9. So I'm not wrong when I say that the inters are not lasting that long, and the performance breaks down quite quickly. So that's why I'm also surprised why Francesconi went like 15 laps long. But I mean, if he can make it up on the way, oof, nicely held, really nicely held. That we've seen already, people that kept it and people that got unlucky, but nicely held it together there. And he's still 10th. Francesconi still behind Meunier. I mean, gaining 1.5 seconds on fresh tires is one thing, but passing is a completely different thing, as I think everyone has already heard that sentence somewhere else. Ooh, Francesconi is trying for it at Spoon, but no, the overlap is not quite there yet. Meunier is suffering on traction, but it's not quite in the right place for Francesconi to go underneath him, but he's looking for it. Oh, no, he thinks better of it. That was clever. At least I think that was a good idea not to force the issue. I think he could probably, like if he wants to use some push to pass, he could do it here, as Meunier is still suffering with it. And he's already alongside. I would say this is, as I said, the perfect opportunity. He's basically in 4th and he's ahead. Nice, before turn 1. So yeah, probably might have not needed push to pass, but he's through anyway. As we're here looking at P14, Shikora on his fresh set now. As he goes underneath the Drake car of Van der Voort, I would say. And there's the PCW car of that cannot be. No, it's not Galka. That must be no Sweetis. It's Svilo, yeah. Thanks, Szymon. As he passes them both, no, Svilo is fighting. Like, oh, don't steer into that side part, into that tire. You will both spin. I see it coming. I just know how the cars kind of will feel when you make contact there. But they all got out of it. Nice. So he got 2 cars. As Dylan Platt now has caught Jack Major for 2nd place, like about 6 seconds down from Carlos Martin, who's driving a really good race so far. Kudos to him there. I mean, FS1 is already known as a difficult car to drive, but he's kind of ironically taking like fish to water right here. It's a wet race. And here Dylan is tying. Nope. Yeah, he thinks better of it. He can wait. And it's probably also not Casey Triangle, even though he's probably got a bit better tire. Yeah, let's see. He might do the same as we just seen earlier. But oh no, he's pitting. Oh, interesting. Might this be a kind of undercut attempt on Major, because Major is on 11 lap old tires, and I mean Dylan just goes to the new set, so this is probably an attempt to also undercut Major on a new set. I'm not sure about the strategies anymore, because everybody's running like 10 laps or less, so we got to see like 4 stops, maybe even, like, I don't know. Oh, a 3-way fight here, sorry. I'm being mesmerized by tire strategies. Galka is now 6th. Up to 6th, wow, nice. must have timed that really nicely. As good is now down to 7, followed by Poom. Got a yellow flag somewhere, as Francesconi is now the one following Major. So probably Platt also took the opportunity to pit before Francesconi was gonna overtake him and be ahead on track as well. I just noticed also the Su is out and Flavio Zongoli is also gone, so we're down to 19 cars. Not quite sure if this was... Oh, they're just being notified they had a coming together, so probably missed that. Yeah, sorry. Both of them out, sadly. Yeah, it happens with wet conditions, a bit more tricky. Sandeep Singh with this, he's I was just gonna say he was now behind Zanini and Zanini immediately pits. I'll never get something right today. As we've already, Jack Major has already lost second to Francesconi here, who's still on his mission to reclaim his top spot. Now here to Rogosa in 10th. Now also trying to attack Gut, Vincent Gut in the TG car. Behind him is recovering Jim Parisis. And he's going for it, and Parisis, oh no, don't do that, Rogosa, I think, I'm not sure, but it looked like he tried to go back to the line a bit and then both make contact and pulled them both to the right side, which can, I think if I looked at FS2 in horrible consequences. Here we got overtake again, and yeah, Rogosa was not clear. Rogosa should not have moved right here. Like, I'm gonna be mean here. I'm not Toby Davis, sorry, but he would have also been fine. This does not sound good. We're just seeing the replay here that Szymon presents to us, and it's already rear wingless Zongoli, as I see, and he just spun into the way of Remco and took him out. Yeah, I'm glad that Toby isn't here. I heard probably even more fury. Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. I think I'm not. Again, I'm not Toby Davis, but this is terrible. Sorry, but Flavio, what are you doing? If you're wingless, you really ought to look into your mirrors, please. Oh, too much rotation. Rear end spun into the barrier, lost that rear wing actually. Then he was rear wingless. Here comes Zanini. He can see him from far away, but this is not an excuse for Zongoli. He was just sitting on the racing line there. And I know Zanini, I don't know, but he's still caught out and he's sleeping. Again, I should also say, like, rear wingless and you're trying along there and then you lose it, and it's not getting better, is it? Oh, Remco has immediately lost his left front wheel. I can mention so much that contributes to this, but Zongoli should have been, I mean, maybe shouldn't have even returned like that and then even gone off immediately to the right. And oh no, oh my, oh good lord. It's all going off at the same time. So Parisis tried the Rogosa, and it ended even worse. Like, Parisis is alongside here, entitled to space, but Rogosa seems to turn in. It just doesn't seem to see him. I need to see this from Parisis' view. Parisis here is, he don't push to pass, no, probably not. He's going for it, he's alongside before, yeah, no, Rogosa just turns in. I don't get it, but as much as it compromises both drivers in wet conditions going alongside each other into that turn, Jim Parisis was entitled to space and he found basically the door shut on him. So yeah, I'm sorry, but Rogosa, this retirement for both of them, this is on you. I'm sorry, but should have been given space. But that sadly is the end of the race for both of them, as that was a very heavy hit for both of them. But yeah, in both instances, this was kind of a clear picture for me that if you've got a very damaged car, and if you try to bring it back with a rear wing missing, like in the wet conditions, then you have to be really slow, maybe even engage the pit limiter, stay far off the racing line, and even if you spin off, just maybe don't rejoin, maybe look at your relative overlay if you have one, as we got Loic Meunier. He's having to use he's going wide, but he's, It's probably the pressure tire, but he managed to stay more or less on track, and he's up to 8th, and they both survive. Nice, thank you, both of you, Loic and Michel. As we've got Jack Major now pitting from 2nd. New fresh set of inters. This will probably be his 2nd last stop, because he's about 21 laps from the finish, more or less, and he's out in P9. In, well, maybe not the best spot, but it's still like a second to Galka and Meunier ahead of him, but probably lost a bit of time pitting later. Again, not the one. Here is Meunier. We were looking at the replay of this overtake. This not so then yes overtake, I would kind of call it. Galka tries to shut the door. Meunier goes very like brave on the outside, and he actually doesn't slip off and keeps the line, and then with of course the better tires and braking power, he just keeps the place ahead of Galka, who tried to fight back. But yeah, I mean, nice by both. Galka reserved the inside for him, and then Meunier went to the outside. Galka didn't slip wide, and both gave each other room. So very, very good, people. I'd like to see that, and we all like to see that, as we've got Dylan Platt here now, P4, fighting. Yeah, I mean, we've got already lost Macho, so I should know that. But yeah, thanks for reminding me. It's Stavros Moutsaidis who is on his. I don't know. I always see him be on the counter strategy on the long stints. And he's currently 5th, but probably gonna drop quite quickly again. But yeah, for the present moment, Platt takes 4th as Moutsaidis drops to 5th, and I think Edward Hunter is back from his dinner break.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think if I just left it to the end, I would have just been absolutely struggling. So just one of those things where I just didn't have time before, because it was a very long Cubs meeting, and I had to walk some of the kids back home. because they brought their bikes with them, so we had to put the bikes in the back of the car. It's a whole thing, but it's done now.
It's all fine. You've got me and my voice and my big mouth to talk about in the meantime. That's okay. But you've missed kind of a bit. We're down to 17 cars now.
Yeah, Paris is out, Rigosa out, Zongoli, of course, is the one I saw. I was looking at Hygo, absolutely just putting maximum power down on the exit of Dunlop and getting right up into the back of Stavros Moutsaidis. Which is see if does he try and move at the hairpin here. Moutsaidis hangs the rear out and is really struggling for traction. So is Hygo going to come to the inside? Now he's stuck behind him and has to try and get the exit here. Hygo's going to slot himself up the inside, coming out of the hairpin, but he's going to be on the wetter part of the track. So the Inters have got to do their job here through turn 100R. He sweeps through, and that's Hygo putting back into the top 5, about 4 seconds behind his teammate Dylan Platt then.
Yep, as we have Francesconi after his pit stop on. I'm gonna check this again. His set is now, I think it's. Is it 9 laps old already? He's back on to trying to get his lead back that he dropped 10. Earlier. Yep. Now it's lap 10. Thank you.
Martin's been on him, I think, 16 laps though.
Yep. This is already. I mean, this is very nice by Martin. His performance so far in the faster, more difficult. Although if I compare it to FS1, he might not be, but yeah, still very nice. As we've got a fight for P9 here.
Yeah, Vince Gutt just being attacked by first, not just Jan Sakura, but Menno Klont as well. Menno Klont got the inside into 130R, and then Sakura followed him through. So Vincent really struggling out there in the TG racing car. But his teammate Marco Francesconi in the thick of the battle for victory. They both lapped Sandeep Singh now, who's in 16th position. Let Carlos Martin through, but of course he couldn't really hold Francesconi up as well. So he's just slotting behind them, and he's biding his time on what looked like pretty fresh intermediate tyres actually on Sandeep's car. He's just a place out of the points, isn't he? He's only been on them a lap, so no wonder he's a bit quicker than the pair of them. Meanwhile, purple final sector for Jack Mayer, I think. Oh!
Moutsaidis understeering on his old set.
And there is Jack Mayer getting through, it's just as I mentioned him.
It's just 60 laps long, so yeah, that's a very long stint right now. Here comes Francesconi though, looking for the lead. Oh, this is very tight, just about. Give each other room, please. Side by side still. Just about space given as Francesconi takes the lead into the Casio triangle. Nice one.
Yeah. That could have been really, really horrible for Road to Formula as Carlos Martin goes into the pits to not hold up Sandeep Singh any further in the race, because if Carlos had dropped it at 130R, made contact with Francesconi, then Sandeep would have been immediately behind and potentially we could have seen both their cars out. But luckily, Carlos Martin's still in the fight for victory here, but look at this, it got so close on the inside there.
Yeah, like he nearly, they were slightly tire banging, but it ended better than what I had to watch previously, where Rogosa turned in as if Chimperisis hadn't been there and both violently crashed at 130R. So that is how one retirement happened.
There goes Loic Moynier.
Yeah, his own fight.
This is the replay of him getting through, and then Mercedes goes wide, and that is what allows Jack Mayer to slot himself up the inside at Degner 2 there. So just enough space left. And Mercedes doing well not to bin it in the gravel there, frankly.
But as you missed, I had to slightly put together my inner Toby Davis, as we've had a bit of pinballing going on that led Zongoli to kind of retire the Zoo from the race and put Zanini into last place. But it's a shame. That's what I can say. Like, I'm glad Toby isn't here again.
Really?
Yeah, he wouldn't love it.
That I have to come in, otherwise you'll come down on your own. And this is the third race in a row that's happened in Superlights, I think.
Yeah, maybe he you know, just for the joke and say, maybe it's an excuse so he doesn't have to see it anymore. But
yeah, maybe that's why he's taking the Tuesday night work shift. Yeah. But anyway, Carlos Martin after his pit stop comes into P7 right behind Jack Mayer. So Jack Mayer's just undercut him then. Now they're both getting a toe off of Moynier, has he? So Moynier pulls to the right. Jack Mayer is going to be through before they reach 130R, and now he needs to hope Moynier holds up Carlos Martin behind him.
Yeah, Major on a slightly fresher set. Here comes Martin, of course, on his completely fresh set. And he immediately has to be on it, because we're looking like 17. Big oversteer moment by Mounier here. Wow.
That's how you end up crashing into the wall if you're not careful, especially in conditions like this. And Martin is going to get easily through here on the inside. The Spaniard then up into P6. Moynier can do nothing to repel him. Now Jack Mayer is going to be immediately vulnerable to the Road to Formula car.
I'm already checking the strategy again, like 17 laps to go, well, pitted with 18. He did a 16 lap stint, it's a kind of 17 lap stint, so he's effectively, I think he will go to the end, or probably the plan is he does another stint and that's it. But he will really need a free track now, because Francesconi, if he pits with I don't know, even just lap 30, he will have better tires, so this is kind of make or break.
Francesconi started on the Inters, which were the right tire to start on, so that's given him a big advantage. Gobbi as well. I don't think Gobbi's quite had the pace of some of the guys behind him, but he's made up for it by making sure he started on the Inters and not got into too many battles, really, with the likes of Mayer and Martin and the TR Motorsport cars. It'd be interesting to see if TR try anything different here to try and keep Carlos Martin behind him to sort of limit the score, or if they're just going to end up slotting behind him and they're banking the points. So the gap between Road to Formula and TR Motorsports, it was 405 to 318, so that is 87 points then. And of course, we look here, there's Martin just getting through around the outside then into 130R past Jack Mayer, so nothing Jack Mayer could do as the rain just continues to bucket it down here at Suzuka. It's a very dank and depressing looking circuit at the moment.
Oh, I'm completely fine. I love it how it is right now.
Yeah, it's given us a lot of action, but it's a bit gloomy is what I'm getting at. And we've had a fair few share of gloomy races at Suzuka, to put it mildly, where the rain has just absolutely turned it into a bit of a running river. Yeah,
true. I've seen a few shares of wet races over the past few years too, but I could say gloomy, as we got a low Shikora. He tried to do the Sergeant, but it didn't quite work out.
Would he wanted it to work out? Because Sargent put it in the wall, didn't he?
Yeah, that's why I say it didn't quite complete it. But it looked like a bit like this incident Svilo had earlier. Suddenly a snap oversteer moment that... Yeah, it's exactly the same, except hitting the inside wall a bit. He avoided it.
Keep it out of the outside wall there as well, because that could have been really curtains for Christos Ville. And he's not had the best of luck recently. Remember that big crash at Monza as well with him and Remco Dizu.
Yeah.
So Christos at least fighting up there in the top 12, potentially good challenge Vincent get for 11th, or maybe even Tom van der Voort for 10th then. So with the depleted field, there's big opportunities for those who hit trouble earlier on or would normally be a bit further back.
Yeah, we've got some... I think I've previously mentioned that like some of the reserve drivers are doing a great job, as we see Carlos Martin here, as we speak of the devil. But we've also got some people that can take some nice points, as we saw with Svilo. He's now 12th place. So they're also hoping to hold on to their positions, as I mean, just 2 drivers would right now be missing out, as we've got traction issues for Heiko Poom here, as Gopi is in the pits right now. Here goes Carlos Martin. Yeah, he's trying, but he's... Yeah, there's
he's
another...
on the inside. That's him get through, surely, because Heiko's just going to lose traction on the outside there. It's like a ring of death on the outside there if you try and hold on to that one. So there you go. He did have pretty good straight line speed, but not quite enough to cut to the inside in time. There we go. Look, Palisade wheel alongside. And from then on, it was pretty much game over, unfortunately. But full marks to Heiko for not bumping into the side of him there, because the rears were just absolutely going.
The nail in the coffin was hitting the curb there, which caused oversteer moment, and at that point he had no traction to counter-attack on the outside. But it's really difficult to even try to hang on when somebody has like the tire launch over you, as we've got here. Vincent got still P9, probably just overtook Tom van der Voort into turn 1 there, as they're both following Musaidis in P8, who probably also has pitted just now because he's now 53 seconds back.
And
yeah,
2
laps
green
old.
tires. Interestingly.
Oh.
Onto the timing screen. That's not the Inters, is it? The Inters are the Reds. This is somewhat confusing and irrelevant to the people watching the stream, of course, because he's put medium on.
Good lord.
And no wonder he's quite slow, but that's either a big mistake in his pit stop, or Stavros Mercedes is just completely rolling dice and hoping it dries up. But we're still seeing it raining at the moment, so unless this is a timing screen glitch, I think Stavros Mercedes has made a big blunder here.
Yeah, how the car behaves, it doesn't look like Inter, so whoa! And I think Heiko's tires are done, because this is Formula Drift right now.
Yeah, Francesconi pits from the lead as well, so Dylan Platt leads from Martin, 4 seconds behind him. So Platt is trying something interesting. It's a shame Heiko couldn't really hold Martin up. He's not going to be able to hold Mayer up for too much longer. Here we go, but he does at least keep him back into turn 1. Vincent get up the inside of the medium shot. Stavros Mercedes, I'm amazed he has any grip at all out here. It looks like driving on ice at the moment.
Oh, and he's coming back at him on the mediums. Into 130. Yeah, is he gonna hold it? Oh, hey, it just looks kind of planted right now here. This is a bit weird.
That only worked because he stayed exactly on the racing line. Off it is just absolutely lethal, and that was why we saw Vincent passing him at Spoon there. So it's so difficult to stay on that one racing line. And here we go. Vincent's got so much more grip coming out the last corner. Does he have the straight line speed though? We've seen that ballet is pretty nippy in a straight line. It's got the inside into turn 1. Vincent's going to have to try to go all the way around the outside on the Inters then. Can he pull this one off, David?
Nice one. He's staying alongside, both still side by side, and he surrenders. Musaidis gives it to God there. Although I'm surprised that he still can't drive as quickly as he is. It seems like it's trying a bit out on the ideal line at least. And here's Brody Lawless at the oh yeah, he's also on the mediums, and he spins after the turn. That's
exactly what happens. Yeah,
before.
when you get it wrong. So Brody, he's doing the Stavros Mercedes strategy, and here comes Jack Mayer then. He's finally got alongside Heiko Poom. Poom is trying to back him into Francesconi here as well. Francesconi easily clearing Moynier just behind. So it's really starting to heat up these battles for the podium positions here. And these drivers need to make sure they don't trip up over each other before the checkered flag.
Platt is in the pits here, as Szymon calls, from second. Oh well, lead actually.
Both TR cars then pitting, yeah.
So here comes Mounier trying to get back at him.
Yeah, he's a bit annoyed that Francesconi got him so easily just in the background while we were watching Mayer get past Poom. But here comes Dylan Platt then. Where is he going to filter out in the order? Is that going to be... Yeah, that's the lapped car of Sandeep Singh, I think, that he's just come out behind. So him and Poom are still going to be in a clear 6th and 7th. So this could work out well for TR. They've got plenty of clear air in front of them as Mercedes continues to squabble, this time with Menno Klont. And I think it's not going to be long before Tom van der Voort on his Inters is able to get through here as well. This is just a almost inexplicable call here. We're seeing Brody Lawless is now last and has gone a lap down along with Zanini. And yet Mercedes coming back in. Clearly the weather radar said it was going to dry up, and both Lawless and Mercedes have called it wrong.
Yeah, lately I just noticed it. The rain was disappearing a bit, and okay, notification, rain not stopping until the end. It just
You'd
looked
think
a bit
if
slightly
Szymon had that
wet.
information, that Valet would as well. Then.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, it depends how you want to read like the weather radar, like weather underground or something. Because how I read it, it would have been anywhere near dry enough to even start on dry tires. But so we had that start on mixed compounds, but well, yeah, it didn't work out, and yeah, the pit as we've got Francesconi now trying to make the important crucial pass on Major, and he's through before 130 yards. He's got now just 7 seconds and like 13 laps left to go and catch Carlos Martin.
Yeah, he's got much fresher tyres than anyone, having just come out the pits then, so this is going to be his first flying lap, not an out lap, I mean. Yeah, 146.5 compared to, actually it was a 48.2 by Mayer, very slow, whereas Carlos Martin's in the 46.2s, so just 3 temps quicker than Michael Francesconi at the moment. And there's Moynier just cutting across the Casio triangle. So that's not going to do his chances of holding on to 4th any good, because Gobby, Platt and Poom are going to be catching him at a rate of knots now.
It was the second time, by the way, that happened. He previously also had to cut the Casio triangle. As we've got Sikora here in P10 ahead of Tom van der Voort, and we've got yellow somewhere too.
Out the race
yeah.
then.
Yeah, Szymon, Szymon said it's Zanini, and yeah, but down to 16 cars now. Just one car not getting points today.
Brody Lawless, it always seems to go against him, sadly. But he is a law unto himself. I'm sure he'll find a way to sneak into the points here. But anyway, let's see a replay of what happened to poor Davide Zanini. Ah, there we go. He almost tried to save it by going in the pit lane, and lost his front wing as a consequence there. But he still didn't get quite as badly as Thomas Smith in the FSR Academy race that me and Jessica Bull were commentating on that. And Smith and oh, look at that, he's spinning the rears. Is he stuck there in the wall? That's a very weird situation. He had to escape out of that one, because otherwise he was just blocking the pit lane entry, wasn't he?
I think the only chance would be like floor and then hard right and try to spin it around, or I don't know, even reverse down the pit lane. But to be honest, at that point I think the damage was done. Like he was already like not that far ahead of Lawless, like on track. So yeah, it's a used evening for him.
28 on those 13 lap inters. He's had enough. So Gobby's already got through, and it looks like Matt and Hygo Puma are going to speed through as well.
When he's still doing really well, like still a top 6 runner for Drake. I think they would really love him to. Is that the 3rd time now? Did he just cut it another time in succession before his pit stop? Yeah, he did. Oh, interesting. So these tires are really getting difficult to handle
and
for him.
Gobby getting, yeah,
wow.
he's had a bit of a moment at 200R as well. He's done the Ragozza line there.
What is wrong with these inters?
They keep burning up. That's the problem.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised that they're that terrible right now, but didn't have much time. Like I mean, of course we had Spa, but and Suzuka of course has a lot of usage for the tires, but I'm still a bit surprised. I've got Gobby, 2 wheels on the grass, but he's taking Major to the inside. Oh, he's on the steering. Oh, Major has seen it, and he's letting him go for P3.
Yeah, 6 laps fresher tyres on that TX3 of Gobby there, and that is, again, strategic advantage of having started the race on inters and not having to make that extra stop, essentially. Whereas that means Jack Mayer's had to really extend his stints to sort of stay ahead at this phase. But with 11 laps to go then, it's really turning into a battle between Francesconi and Martin, isn't it? Everyone else is starting to drop back in arrears.
Yeah, Carlos, the highest of those that, well, pitted earlier after the start. I think he was on. Was he on the dry? Let me check again.
Was, yeah.
He was, yeah. I think on the mediums.
8 laps, and then he's done 17 on a set of inters, 8 on the current set, whereas Francesconi has done 14 and 15 laps on inters respectively. He's now 4 laps into this current stint as Jack Mayer finally comes in for his final pit stop.
Yeah, effectively the highest of the dry starters, and Francesconi the highest one of the inter starters, and going very long on his first stint, to be honest, with like 15 laps, but it really worked out for him well, as his Jack Major on wets there. Or is it inters? Yeah, no, it's inters still.
Definitely inters.
Oh no, wait, well, at least here it shows wets, but it should be inters, I guess, because
I think that's a glitch, yeah.
Yeah, it must be
Oh, as we see, Svillo is out of the race.
No! Oh, he was doing so well. But what did it happen to him? Just spin?
It's like it, unless he got disconnected. Here he goes through Spoon.
Oh, please no.
Running in the top 13 at this phase. And
oh no, don't be, no, this is the biggest penalty you could ever have when you have such a good race. Oh, I'm feeling for him.
And but the only consolation, as we see Tom van der Voort just loop it through Spoon, is that this promotes Brody Lawless back into the points.
That was in memoriam Christus Svillo slide there.
Yeah, well, I think it was about here where Platt is that Svillo had that disconnection, so he sort of did his tribute in the wrong place, if you ask me. Yeah, the timing screen on here we're looking at now is showing a lot of drivers on wets, but the race view is showing them all on inters. Ah, okay. So actually what we're seeing is accurate then. So Moynier, Mayer and Good have all gambled on the full wets. And is that what Martin's going to do now as well as he makes his final stop?
Oh, I wouldn't have... Oh, he does! Oh! He didn't look that wet, to be honest. Now and Gobby does the same, I'm here. Yeah, there we have him.
We are seeing more mistakes though. Maybe that's a sign that it's getting worse. Look at the surface though. It's not looking any drier, that's for sure.
This could be interesting if Francesconi is trying to hold out at the end, or he will try to finish the race as is, because if Carlos Martin might prove to be much faster and it doesn't let off, then Francesconi could be in trouble here.
And Jack Mayer undercutting Gobby as well to get back into the top 6 then. So surely TR are going to... Well, actually TR have made quite a lot of stops in this race already. Dylan Platt did 8 laps at the start and then 2 11-lap stints on the inters. He's now 4 laps into his current stint. Francesconi's 5 laps into his stint, but has done 1 stop less. And then we got Martin, who I think, as he's just pitted for wets and come out 3rd ahead of Heiko Poon, crucially. So yeah, the conditions are starting to deteriorate here. So anyone staying out on the inters like Francesconi probably is, could well find themselves vulnerable here, and perhaps even Dylan Platt too. But the problem is if they pit now, they come out behind Martin. So they've really got to commit to their strategies at this point because they're running out of laps in this race.
Yeah, the TR cars. I don't know, it may stay on the inters to the end of the race. Like, do they really have anything big to lose if the pace might work out? But then again, you know, I say something and I'm either jinxed or immediately proven wrong. I'm kind of a bit of a Murray Walker myself.
Mistake by Francesconi a little bit because he set a 1:51.4, so that was 1.4 slower than Dylan Platt that last lap. Meanwhile, Martin is faster in the middle sector than both of them, and 4/10 quicker in the final sector as well. So that was a quick outlap by Carlos Martin. He's 8.2 then behind Dylan Platt. So we're in for a grandstand finish. If Platt can hold up Martin, it might... Oh, and Brody Lawless! Oh dear, the Fusion Racing driver completely missing the front right end of his car at 130R. So that really shows you how treacherous the conditions are. He was running in the points. Now, has he even completed 90%? Yeah, he just went straight on. That looked almost like the wheel failure or something. Or he just had no control at that point.
That's too bad for him, because I think he won't be classified. He's not 90% in. That would be lap 40, and we're on lap 36.
It's brutally unlucky as Mercedes is under attack from Menno Clant. And that could have gone much worse for the pair of them. And look behind, there's somebody making... It's Jan Sikora, of course, trying to make a move up the inside and just being held at bay by Menno. There, Menno then gets a twitch on. So that's surely going to mean Jan is going to have an excellent run in this replay. And in fact, we know from looking at the current result screens that Jan is ahead and in 10th place. So he just goes up the inside. This should be a fairly straightforward move, but he has to go right off the racing line to complete it. But now he's got the inside, get comfortably ahead into turn 1.
Thinking what we got here. Galka. Oh, Galka is still P13, like we saw him a bit early in the top 10, like dropped a bit off, but I'm glad for everyone that can hold the car together. Oh, I'm gonna see yellow again, sector 1. I'm glad I'm seeing everyone keep the car together and go for the points at the end of the race, if they manage to do so, because it's really getting difficult out there, proven that everyone is now going to the wet weather tire, which is really just coming in when it's really getting difficult, and that says something, as we've got Tom Vandervoort here in P12. Is this the, well, it's not quite a Brody Lawless, like the one where he spun off to the right side into the gravel trap, but it was a slight moment. But he's fine now, still in 12th, as Carlos Martin is about 11 seconds behind Francesconi right now with 7 laps to go.
Half the gap to Platt in the last couple of laps. So Carlos Martin 148.2, Dylan Platt 151.3, Marco Francesconi 150.9. So yeah, those on the inters are really struggling at the moment, and those on the wets are in the sort of 48s, 49s.
If if this just keeps going the trend that it is and it doesn't shift suddenly again, because why wouldn't it? Then I see that Carlos Martin is more or less, he just has to keep it like this, because when I see the lap times, as you mentioned, he is so much faster than the guys ahead of him, and he's on the right tire, then he should be in a pole position to, well, I'm gonna jinx this completely, but again, yeah, for the win, and catch back up to Francesconi, and Francesconi has no option anymore. That window closed, because with Carlos Martin just less than 10 seconds down now, he can't pit anymore and catch him. So Carlos Martin here with the right decision. It's right now, at least. As we have got a whole train for P4 here with Heiko Poom, who is still on the inter, and the wet tire runners. Whoop. Salah, Gobby going off track there a bit, but the wet tire runners now catching up to him as Heiko is starting the Formula Drift again. Oh, yeah, but he has no, I mean, he could pit, because behind Gobby there's a big gap of over 30 seconds, but there's no, I mean, he could easily pit, but he cannot just fight, and he does, as they're going side by side into turn 1, but can Munier hold? No, he can, he's being shut off there. No way past the
Moynier had it go wrong from there before, but here we go. He's waiting for the outside line. He's going to cut through into the S's, and Heiko with no grip just hits into the side of him and has to slot him behind, as you say, David. So Moynier through into the top 4. Very, very impressive comeback from the Drake driver, and Jack Mayer is going to follow him through. But he goes really wide, and that potentially allows Gobby to get involved here. Is Gobby going to go off track? Oh my goodness me, that's so tight between these three.
Ah, goodness, like Gobby was both between getting alongside and catching the outside curb that would just spill him out into the gravel trap on the outside, as Heiko is everywhere sideways on his own intermediate, and I can't decide if they're just very worn out or it's just too wet. As
here comes
the outside part on Spoon.
Wow, look how much grip he's got. It's like Dylan Platt standing still on those inters there. And it's same for Heiko as well. TI have really gotten caught out here.
Nice, great outside pass for Carlos Martin here. And oh, the tires, yeah, he's just understeering off, he can't keep the line anymore, and Gobby is up to 6th. Oh, yeah. Going off again.
The upshot of this as well is that Road to Formula, as we look at the replay of Moynier's brilliant pass on Heiko Poom, he really had to watch Heiko to slide, and he saw the gap open up on the inside, and he absolutely had to go for it. And Heiko, to his credit, did well not to spin Moynier around as he overtook him. This is a view from Jack Mayer then, emerging from the mist. Sees Moynier duck to the right.
That's perfectly timed.
Oh, there was a touch there before the corner as well, and then a little bit on the exit here. And this is what allowed Jack Mayer to sort of have a run around the outside, but there was no grip whatsoever. So even on those full wets, he was struggling. He thought he could do it, then the rears just started to complain a bit, and this is what allowed Gobby to have a brief nibble, but he knew he was going to understeer wide here, just enough space left by Jack Mayer. Intelligent driving from all three of them, and Moynier as well.
Moynier was a perfectly timed undercut with slight slip, but it was just enough. And he is respectfully driving on fresher inters as I see that, and he's making it work. So I guess in Heiko Boom's tires really are shot as we are looking here at the outside pass by Carlos Martin, and it's really nice. Just in a wonderful circle around the outside as Dylan Platz's tires kind of cry there.
Yeah, so 5 laps to go. Carlos Martin is 7.8 seconds behind Francesconi and was 1:49.9, but Francesconi sit at 1:52.4, Dylan Platt at 1:53.3. So it's just deteriorated for the Inters runners as their tires start to wear and the conditions get worse. The Inters are just going to drop like a stone. I wouldn't be surprised if Heiko's really only option is to stay out essentially down in 7th. Vincent gets 41 seconds behind, so not really going to be a threat. But he'll just lose more time at this point by pitting.
Depends. I mean, he could just, if he's feeling safe enough. I mean, there's always the threat of just snap, like having a snap here, and then it's all over, or just pitting for safety. So he might do that, but I would say probably Heiko won't. But then again, they always do the opposite thing of what I'm saying they do. 14 cars left as Musaidis is now the one in last place, has come out after his latest pit stop behind Sandeep Singh, who is now at least having 3 points. So he's currently not going out empty-handed as Jack Major. Wide moment there, but Gopi cannot take advantage. And Heiko Boom pits. So yeah.
There we go, listening to you then. The interesting thing here is now TR Motorsports, 3rd and 5th were getting 25 points, but currently Road to Formula are going to get 23 points, as you say. 20 for Martin, 3 for Sandeep Singh. So they're 87 ahead. They would lose just 2 to 85. They need a 94-point gap to mathematically clinch it going into the last 2 races. So if Martin can win here, it certainly could be on. But they are 87 points ahead. They need 87 plus. They need another set. They need to gain 7 points. At the moment, they're going to lose about 2, I think.
Brought slightly a point up in the warm-up session. Like, I was looking through the DC decisions and also saw that through the protests the gap was opened slightly a bit more. So yeah, I mean, they were quite far ahead, but if you can protest something, you will probably do. But that was just
so when they cross the line, do we call it for Road to Formula, or do we wait till the next round in Abu Dhabi?
I haven't even checked. I think it's close at least, but I'm not knowing the full.
I'm pretty
standings.
sure if Martin wins this, it's over. Especially if Dylan Platt is caught by Loic Mounier, which seems to be what's happening at the moment. But Gobby all over the back of Jack May. He's not giving up on that 5th place, has he?
Oh, he's right. Oh, I mean, no, he's not even behind him anymore. He's right alongside both on the wet side. Oh, that's nearly a slight tap, and Major looked like he tried to put the undercut on, but it was not. There was no gap to go in, and Gopi is up to 5th.
And here we go, battle for the lead. They're only a 10th apart then. Martin has a little look at the inside at Degner 1, and Francesconi, defender, is like 3 laps to go, and this is the battle for the lead. And Martin is surely looking set to win first time out here in Superlights.
This is time for Michael Francesconi to put on his best impression of Minister of Defense. As he has a big slide there.
But what's he got to defend with? He's got no traction at all. He's going to be a sitting duck here through 200, and Orcott Martin just has to back out because there's just not enough space. But surely through Spoon, he's going to have so much more grip. Backs off again, focuses on the exit. That allows Francesconi to just sort of squirrel in front of him desperately for traction. Here they come then into 130R. This is going to be the crucial moment.
Yeah, at least Francesconi's line are still perfect. He's not going off, but yeah, this might be a push to pass moment where he's trying to defend. Yeah, no way past there. Is Carlos Martin now trying to put it on the brakes? No, there's not enough room. The next chance is again the start-finish straight. Will he have a better run? Will he have more push to pass? It's not kind of working on the straight. And Francesconi going defensive, so he will have to go to the outside and go around him. He's going. Yeah, he's shutting him off as much as he can legally, and Carlos Martin cannot find the gap yet.
Yeah, as he saved all his push to pass Francesconi for this moment because he knew Martin was coming through.
Yeah, we wish we would see the remaining, like in IndyCar racing, you can see like remaining push to pass usages, or the seconds rather, but so we can just like speculate how much everyone has left. But it very much looked like the defense move, as there's Sikora trying on Vincent Gott, I think. Side by side. Ah, very good. Everyone's under control. And Sikora takes it.
Late there. There we go. So good stuff from Jan. Had to brave it on the outside there. As here we go. Stavros Mercedes is fighting away with Sandeep Singh. So Singh is actually, with Van der Voort pitting, he's gotten into 12th position, which is 4 points. And Martin up the inside of Francesconi. Martin, just squirrels around, but he takes the lead there in the most forceful way imaginable.
I don't know, did Francesconi have a bad exit and he came a bit across when Carlos Martin was trying to get alongside, and then he was basically shown the grass. But
that was only a matter of time, really. Those inters are done with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, it kind of all crashed down, like when the rain went, the intensity went too high up. Yeah, there's the wiggle, and then, oof, that just went okay.
That could have gone worse for both of them, much worse.
Yeah, like no tire interlock today, just like side by side tire contact. They kind of tipped each other at the tires and not, locked front rear wheel, like getting into a wheel tracks. They would have spun them both around, but they just managed to get away with that contact. And right now it is Carlos over.
Right, so I'm trying to work out the points here. 25 plus 4 is 29, and we know TR Motorsports still only set to get 25 points at the moment. So this would put them another 4 points ahead. So they are 3 points away, I think, at the moment, depending on that steward's review from Singapore, I guess, Road to Formula, from sealing the team's championship. So if Sandeep can maybe catch Galka before the end, it'd be interesting, because then he'd be getting... Well, I'd only give him 1 more point. He needs 10th, doesn't he?
This sounds like current Formula 1. How much points do you need to be to win the title? It's just about the same. But yeah, it's not a whole lot. This is basically, turn up and get the point in that case.
Well, I think Sandeep Singh has done a bit more than turn up, given the horrible start he had to this race. I remember missing that rear wing, being hit in the backside by Mercedes, and now he's ahead of him. So he's actually done incredibly well. But Martin, you have to say hats off to him, stepping up at fairly short notice for McGorgy, our new champion. Let's look up ahead. Is that Platt really struggling ahead of Loic Moynier and Gobby? Yeah, and Gobby even gets a twitch on as well. So Dylan Platt is really, on this final lap that's coming up, is going to absolutely have to get the anchors out to keep Loic Moynier and Gobby behind him.
Brief yellow, but didn't see who. I just noticed that Don Vanderwood actually is now the last car running, and there comes
Gobby.
Don't lock wheels.
It's a bit close there. Gobby really made that move really late. He made that decision to brake late quite late.
No, Gobby!
Oh!
Saved by the wall, kind of. Here comes Major, taking away 5th. Oh, Gobby's so lucky.
Gobby held onto his front wing there, but that's joy for Moynier, because now he can completely focus on Platt ahead of him.
Yeah, he was too eager. A bit too eager on the throttle, I guess.
And there we go. And we've seen so many drivers drop it there today, haven't we? And if anything, Gobby was lucky to catch it when he did.
The luckiest of the 3 I've seen so far today. Here again, Gobby still in 6th. Like,
and Moynier's got past Dylan Platt while I've been watching this.
Yeah, he tried. Moynier saw him. That was kind of frozen in the move. He kind of made the line tighter.
Moynier had a moment over the curb as well, and Gobby's moment came later down in the corner. So here we go. This is the move. Moynier through the S's. Then Platt is just absolutely a sitting duck at this point, and I think, he's lost quite a few points now, dropping off the podium up the inside. That was really brave from Moynier, actually, to really commit to that one. So that's another 3 points lost. So I think, oh, here we go. Jack Mayer's through as well. There we go, up the inside into Spoon, and Gobby is surely going to follow. So now, oh, and Gobby just goes right into the side of Dylan Platt there on the final lap. So this means Road to Formula, as Carlos Martin comes through the final chicane, are going to be your 2023 Superlights champions, David.
Yeah, I mean, just like with the team champion, a driver champion, a very good display. As here comes Carlos Martin, taking his first ever Superlight. Oh, no, Gobby! Oh my goodness! What a wild accident there.
Yeah,
oh, now he's lost his wing.
Championship, but yeah, Gobby just completely losing it on the exit of 130R and binning it in that TX3. But he's still going to walk away with 6th position because Hygo made that stop. So if Hygo had stayed out, he might be 6th right now. And that might
maybe, but he would have probably dropped as quick as Dylan then, his teammate there, Gobby. Oh no, 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 oh no, he was on asphalt and curb and it completely unsettled the car. He was too long on it.
Yeah, he was risking it to really try and move on Mayer at the final chicane, and I don't think it was ever really on, sadly.
Yeah, it was a do or kind of don't, but the car didn't quite agree there with being on the astroturf and then kind of where the grass starts again, but yeah.
Well, it was do or die, and he chose to do the latter, I think, David.
Yeah, sadly. I mean, I have the feeling ever since I started co-commentating here, TX3 has never been as lucky anymore. And oh, guys, you do know that this...
Francesconi.
What is this? What is it with these guys?
It was revenge being taken. Let's hope he doesn't get penalised. That Carlos looks a bit wounded by that. It's like, oh come on, I kept it as clean as I could. He's like, I was celebrating my win, and you went and ruined it, Michael.
The disciplinary committee will see. I mean, we have all seen it now, but they will probably go get, call them out on that one. Oh. That's an interesting graphic right now. That's the qualifying graphic?
Yeah, I was thinking, how did Dylan Platt win that one? But yeah, there we go.
There we are.
That looks more like it, David.
Yeah, our winner tonight, Carlos Martin, Road to Formula Racing, his first ever win on his, I think, debut. Second is Michael Francesconi for GG Racing. Too bad. But a great display. Third is Loic Meunier for Drake Racing, also a great display. Fourth is Jack Major. Fifth is Dylan Platt. Sixth is Fabrizio Gobbi. Seventh, Heiko Poom. Eighth, Jan Chikora, TTF. Ninth is Vincent Gott for GG, another great run. And Menno Klomp is 10th for Team Ballers Esports, also a great run. Nice. 11th place is Michal Galkar for PZZW Racing Team, also finally some good points for him. 11th, Sandeep Singh for Road to Formula on a damage control run in the end, sadly. 13th is Stavros Moussaidis for Valle Esports, and 14th and the final finisher is Tom van der Wood for Drake Racing. And then we have the first retirement, which is probably a no score for Brody Lawless for Fusion Racing. 16th is Christos Svilo, PZZW Racing Team. 17th, Danilo Zanini for TTF. Ragosa and 18th for Gallery 82. 19th, Jim Precis for TX3. 20th, Flavio Zangoli for HG Esports Blue Bolt. 21st, Remco Dessous for Fusion. 22nd is Dominique Korshavin for Team Ballers Esports. 23rd, Tom Parker for Red Arrow. 24th is Alessandro Marci for Valle. And 25th is Lorenzo Coppellini. So we've had one car that didn't start, and I still, through all this chaos, I never looked up which car we were missing. But yeah, also apologies for some team names I didn't name. In warm-up lap I was already slow, so I didn't quite go through that. But yeah, after this race, the penultimate round will be at Abu Dhabi in 2 weeks, which will be also on the modern layout, which will be interesting, to say the least. Less strange chicanes, from which I know Tom Park would have probably preferred them to stay in, but yeah, we got rid of at least one of them, which I must say, okay, the first one, I don't know, but the second one, I'm kind of glad it's gone. But this will be in 2 weeks. I mean, still here at Japanese Grand Prix in the rain. And we're probably awaiting some interview guests soon, Edward, right? At least I'm hoping. Have some people coming up that want to talk, like maybe the race winner, Carlos Martin. Again, yeah,
It is
great.
acting up a bit.
Yeah. No problem.
I can drag Carlos in for you now if you want.
We'll see who goes with him first. I'm not sure if I could first commentator. Okay, here we are with the race winner Carlos Martin for Road to Formula. Like, I think I'm gonna try probably to commentate. Edward has probably the better voice, but I'll probably try it anyway. But yeah, let's say, Carlos, you had a
This isn't
great...
commentary, this is an interview, David.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Otherwise, Ed, you go it. I'm kind of through it. I'm kind of a bit tired. You do it.
You've done very well today, David. I'm sorry about that. So, as you say, we are joined by Road to Formula's the man substituting for our champion, McGorgy, and first time out, Carlos, for the new team's champions in Superlights. You win and secure that team's championship in spectacular style, especially with that late move on Michael Francesconi. It was a very chaotic race, lots going on. With it starting off sort of dry and then quickly getting wet, and then that inspired call for wets at the end. That was really what sealed it for you.
Well, first of all, it was completely unexpected, and everything that came today is part of the work of Sandeep and Owen. So without them working so hard during the season, today wouldn't be possible to achieve what I achieved. There was luck was involved. Like at the beginning, it was not raining enough to not kill yourself with the medium, sorry. And then later the call with the wets, it was a desperate call, to be honest. I was just seeing the gap with Michael shrinking so fast. I had to do 19 laps, which was like really, really, really long. And then at the first fight we had at 130R, I knew that it would be tight at the end of the race, so every single second it would matter. And then at the end I caught up very fast. I just was preparing to overtake at any point, and well, it was weird, and probably the race sadly doesn't end here, and we need to. They will check on us, and we will check on them. So, I mean, it's sad because we are good friends, Michael and I, but probably we have different opinions on what happened today. So, I mean, just respect to him because he handled the inters really well at the end. I wouldn't been able to do it as well as he did.
Well, that's very gracious of you, Carlos. And I think I've said this before, but I feel like you're the Edward Hunter of the driving world in GPVWC. I always come in to commentate at the last minute, and you always seem to end up driving everywhere. You've won in FS1, you've won in Superlights. Now you just got to win in the Super League next, surely, haven't you?
Well, I felt really, really sad after Suzuka because I punished the team by my decision of going with low downforce at Suzuka, and we didn't have the pace for FS1, and I was sad. And today it was just, I don't know. I'm grateful to have the team that we are involved with, all of them, with the Super League team, with the Superlights team, and the FS1 team. And now we are also, well, there's a championship still to win in Super League with Jake, but there's a lot of news coming regarding team working and everything. And hopefully I can give you those news really soon. But yeah, we're already working for 2024. We have a wonderful group, and hopefully we can keep most of the pieces towards next year. It's not about me, to be honest. It's about the whole team that is behind, and the competition. Of course, without the competition, there's obviously nothing here. And competition FS1 was huge. Today, Michael was huge as well. I'm just sad that we didn't end up in a cleaner way. No blood is hot between Italians and Spanish people, so yeah. And then now I will help as much as I can for the Super League team in testing. Not in racing for the moment, but just waiting. If more help is needed, I'm glad to give it.
Yeah, all that Latin blood coursing through all your veins. It's no wonder that things got heated, I guess. But yeah, what a fantastic show you put on for us today. David, do you have any questions for our race winner before we let Carlos go?
I think he's explained it really well. Very insightful. Thank you.
No issue. I thank you again for the broadcast and everything. And yeah, thanks to everyone, and see you in Abu Dhabi. Have a good one.
Will do, Carlos. You should be thanking David because I skipped a few laps there to go eat dinner because I hadn't eaten yet.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And to Matteo, who barely was in Discord with us. I just noticed he was with us. I didn't notice.
Is that Mr. Kiersmakers you're talking about?
Matteo, yes. Yeah, Matteo. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much for talking to us, Carlos. Congrats on the win, and congrats, of course, to Road to Formula on the Teams Championship. On that note, David, shall we get Sandeep Singh in as well? Because I think certainly a big occasion to talk to. Even though his race didn't quite go to plan, he at least stayed in it and got the vital points that got Road to Formula across the line today.
Sorry, what's the question for me?
I was talking to David, yeah. I was asking David if he wanted to interview Sandeep next. And he didn't say anything, so I'm going to take that as a yes. Okay, we're now joined by our 12th place finisher and our new, part of our new 2023 Superlights Teams Champions Road to Formula. That is, of course, Sandeep Singh. Sandeep, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was about to swear mid-sentence while chatting to someone, so good timing.
Oh, I always pick the best timing, you know that. So Sandeep, the race couldn't have started much worse for you. With you basically didn't get going at all and got lost the rear wing. You absolutely fought back. We didn't see a whole lot of it on stream, just a few overtakes here and there. You had an amazing comeback today, and those 4 points, I think, for 12th place, they were enough to just get Road to Formula in a position where they were unimpeachable, and they've won the Teams Championship. So having been there all season, obviously we talked about the job that Owen has done this season, but you too have been there to back him up and have played an important part.
Yeah, it wasn't the best start. Hit the bloody anti-stall, so that was a disaster. But then I noticed I lost the rear wing, so I just, unlike other people in this league, I just drove slowly back to the pits, flooring it back of the rear wing, and I came out just ahead of the leaders, and then I was thinking, oh, it's going to be a long race. I was tempted to pull over, just save the engine, but first couple of laps, I saw like my pace was probably one of the quickest guys on track, so I just pulled away from them, and then I just worked my way slowly back up, and people kept DNFing and crashing. But yeah, car was terrific. There was times I was like hearing the lap times from the leaders ahead, and I was like half a second quicker a lap, so I was a bit mixed feeling, like, oh, I wish I was up there or not. But I cannot express how happy I am for Owen and Carlos for the job they've done this year. Carlos has been a great support for us in giving good advice for how to we struggled with this car early in the year. We still can't figure it out, even though it's been, where are we, round 14. We still can't figure out what stuff does on this car. And then like Owen's just Owen. He's one of the top 3 guys in the league, GPV in general. I said earlier to Toby, like back in like Baku, like it was a steal that we got Owen for Road to Formula Lights, and he's done an incredible job. He's got a deserved title. It's something that I wanted him to get. When I offered him the drive, I said that if he joins me, he will get the driver's title and will win the team's title, and we've done both for that. And Carlos done a bloody terrific job. He only done his. I sent him a message last night asking, "Do you want to drive the race?" And he sent me a reply back at 4 a.m. in the morning saying, "Oh my god, I wish you told me earlier." So So he did his first lap about 5:30. Unfortunately, it was a wet race, so it wasn't like trying to get up to speed in dry conditions. A lot more easier in the wet. And then we made a couple of tweaks. Our dry setup wasn't much, just diff and that, and the car was terrific because of it. And yeah, he didn't let me down. He also was our test driver to make sure we had the RD points this year, and we've got I think we've got the best car. I'm not sure, I haven't rechecked. And what can I say? We got this is my second team's title that I've won. I won with Pescara a couple of years ago, and yeah, this is now number 2. I'm very happy. No idea what the plans are next year. I'm gonna discuss it in the off season with a couple of people. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy.
You do sound it. Going back to this race, you went for the wet tires near the end, as did Carlos. Was that a call that Carlos made and then you copied, or was he using you as the guinea pig? Because I've lost track of what all the pit stops happened near the end.
We had like an hour and a half before the race, so we'd done our homework before that, so we knew the wets was quicker at the time than the inters, just from lap time references and stuff.
Okay, because Carlos made it sound like it was a desperate thing to try and beat Michael.
It wasn't desperate. He's waffling.
We knew it was like me
because I remember doing like a 149 something, and I was saying to Carlos that, and yeah, I was saying Carlos and Mateo like, I was doing 49s on wets and full tank on like a wet track earlier, so I was like, we should switch now to the wets, and it ended up being a good call in the end for both of us.
Absolutely. So, David, before we let Sandeep go, you got any other questions for him as well, or before we move on to the next interview?
I'm just wondering, like, I heard the word anti-stall, like there's an anti-stall in the car? Because it sounds like Alfa Romeo, which I kind of pointed out in the comments.
Hey, you should try it. It works.
Oh boy.
It definitely works.
Is this how you still figuring out how the car works, by deliberately stalling it, Sandy?
I did a start in warm-up and it was fine, and I guess it was wetter than warm-up. No, it was drier than warm-up, so my revs was like a little bit off. I don't know, I messed up. Who cares? I got points.
It doesn't matter, you're right.
It doesn't matter, man.
That was ages ago. I had dinner in between that happening and the end of the race.
Yeah, we got a team's title now. Like, there you go. Who cares what happened in that race?
It doesn't matter how it happens. All that matters is that the title is secure.
And we have 2 races coming up, and we're going to have some fun, me and Carlos.
Absolutely. So great to hear Carlos will be continuing to do a few more races for Road to Formula then. Who knows where he can finish in the drivers. Probably won't be able to beat you, Sandy, but might be able to get fairly close. But anyway,
we will get Sandeep up in the next 2 races.
We're gonna keep my dry pace a secret because it's crowd.
I don't think it's gonna rain for Abu Dhabi though.
It won't rain in Abu Dhabi. No, it'll just be very hot.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Well, rain in the desert, stranger things have happened. But thank you very much to Sandeep, and congratulations once more to him and Road to Formula on securing the 2023 Superlights Teams title in GPVWC.
Thank you.
So, David, who do you want to interview next? Shall we talk to third place finisher Loic Moynier?
Yeah, let's do so.
We are now joined by Drag Racing's Loic Moynier on a guest drive. Loic, you've got on the podium. That was a really, really strong drive there with only a couple of interesting moments, like the move on Michael early on that didn't quite work out. But in the end, you made that call to wets, got past Dylan Platt, and got onto the podium late on. Looked like a very, very exciting race. And the move, you made several great moves, but the move on Dylan Platt near the end was absolutely exceptional.
Thank you. Yeah, it was one hell of a race. I really enjoyed it. Very limited practice, but the wet looked stable, fine. We had made good strategy calls, I think, even at the start with the slicks. Eventually got passed by Michael, who I decided to pass back, but wasn't given space. I don't know if that's probably on me for being too aggressive, but I wasn't given space anyway. I feel like. And luckily no damage, can keep going on. And yeah, in the final laps, the rain picked up hard. Felt like whites was the safest option and worked out great. The moves were absolutely not followed. That was instinct.
Yeah, it was the move on Michael Francescani at turn one. Was it a case of you being, because you'd started on the softs, Francescani started on the inters? Was it a case of you knew it was going to get wet and you needed to make the move early, and that was why you were being so aggressive, or was it just a case of you thought there was a chance on the inside there?
Yeah, I thought I was close enough that time to go for absolute power unit and DRS. But it looks like a mistake on my side.
Okay, well, of course, that was probably the only really low moment in the race, and you recovered brilliantly from it. So I think that's Drag Racing's first podium of the season, if I'm not mistaken, David. Pretty
Think
sure
very
it
much
is.
so.
Yes, so you've definitely really boosted that team. Like, are they going to be calling you back in future races after this, or do you think it's just a wait and see sort of basis? Because that was a drive you put in today was extremely promising and potentially shows what you could do in the future.
Well, I've came to agreement. Probably, surely gonna be Brazil. Just a matter of personal talent, personal occupations stopping me or not from driving Abu Dhabi.
I know the feeling. I had a personal occupation in terms of eating dinner in the middle of this race, which meant that I had to leave David on his own because I just didn't have enough time to eat it before the start.
I often have dinner when qualifying starts, so I always miss a few laps.
Yeah, while qualifying was going on, I was walking small children home. But anyway, not mine, don't worry. But anyway, I'm sort of out of questions here. David, did you have any for Leica?
Well, I could just say it was like set up, more or less made for the rain or something, because I saw you struggle with Casio Triangle and you had to like cut it 3 times.
Yeah, the car was made for the dry conditions, and since I practiced pretty late, I couldn't really get my feet on what to change or how to get the most out of. So I made do with the car. It was still a very good car. It's just when you come in last minutes, you can't do miracles.
Yeah, well, the Drake car is, I've just checked again, it's just about 10 upgrades behind the Road to Formula car, so it's not very far off. It's a very good car. Well, yeah, you displayed that also on the great result. Again, congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, it definitely is a great car, but maybe one more chance to show it's truly capable of. Thanks,
Well,
Chris.
you've certainly done an amazing job in everything you can do to secure yourself that chance. Like every time I see you in the car, it feels like you just give 110% and sometimes even a little bit more beyond that. But today it worked out with that podium, and I think it's richly deserved for you and Drag Racing.
Thank you.
So I think we'll let Loic go now. And have we got time for one more, David? I think we should talk to Jack Mayer from Red Arrow Racing, not Red Archer. They keep mistakenly calling them. So we're now joined by Red Arrow Racing's Jack Mayer, who has just finished P4, if I'm not mistaken, in the Japanese Grand Prix here in GPVWC Superlights. Jack, I've talked to you many times in FS1, and it's great to see you really delivering here at the next tier in Superlights.
Yeah, it's nice to speak to you again, albeit in Superlights. It was a surprise to be so competitive. I've raced in lights before, and when I was here before, it was probably mid top 10s again. But even with the 4th place, the pace was there with the front runners again today. So maybe there's been an improvement since I was last in lights that's carried in from FS1. But no, it was a good race today. It was really enjoyable. didn't have the weight of a championship fight, so could focus on the racing more and enjoy it and keep it clean, and it rewarded us.
I could hear Symon's eyebrows raising in the background at that last comment. But wow, so this is the thing. I can remember quite a few drivers' races, but when it gets to specifics, it's sort of getting a bit hazy, especially because I left to have dinner in the middle of that race. But I did come back, thankfully. And so, Jack, did you start on the softs or the mediums?
We started on the mediums because
yeah, you were one of the three near the front that started on the mediums. I think.
Yeah, there was a last-minute panic when we realised it was going to be slicks, and we weren't sure how long it was going to be slicks for. And we just thought, well, if it's starting dry, the weather's so unpredictable, you just got to assume it's going to be a dry race because it could rain in 5 minutes, it could rain in 50 minutes. So, and the softs and the mediums in the dry conditions, with the little bit of dry running that we had, the softs are obviously faster, but they overheat a lot more, so it's a lot harder to race them. And when you're going to a race like this, where it's not easy to predict what the weather's going to do, what the strategy is going to be, there's a lot more racing than like tire saving, because you don't know if you're going to box in 5 laps or, so we thought we'd go for the more raceable tire, which was the mediums. And even before we went onto the inters, you could see, I think it was Munier was on the softs, and the tires were coming for us. So yeah, I think that's the best choice we made.
So as the race developed, and you say it just turned into all-out battles between, it was mostly yourself, Fabrizio Gobbi, and Moynier, who you mentioned, and then Dylan Platt, who you caught at the end, because all three of you, Gobbi, Moynier, and yourself, went for the wets, and Platt tried to stick it out on the inters. And then Gobbi had a massive crash behind you, while he was trying to challenge at the exit of 130R, just going really risky, and he pushing too hard to catch up to you, just went into the wall.
Yeah, it was the kind of conditions today where if you want to finish, sounds silly, if you're going to finish, you need to keep it on the track. And just by doing that, just by saving maybe 2-3% in your driving, you're going to get to the end, and that's the difference. We didn't know, like, it's always hard to know if it's inters or wets. But you see drivers pitting, and then suddenly they're like 2 seconds a lap faster. So you have to choose if you react now, or you hold out a few laps, lose those seconds, but then know that you're going to pull even more on them later. And that's what we've done. Halfway through the race, my main priority was, obviously there was Dylan, but I was actually keeping an eye on Poom. I saw that we caught him. He was going really slow. We passed him, and then he boxed. And I knew when he boxed, he would jump us in 1 lap. So it's a matter of, I mean, at the time we didn't realize it's go full wets, but you see him box. I was going to hold out 3-4 laps. Yeah, he'll be about 6 seconds up the road, but then we'll catch a lot easier, especially at the end of the stint. So it's just box, drive, repeat. That's all you do in these kind of situations. So that's what we've done today, and yeah, I think we just made the right decisions, and Carlos did a great job winning.
You think there was a chance of getting Loic, or do you think he just did slightly too good a job today? Because he cut the final chicane, I think, at least 3 times that David and I noticed.
Oh, I'll keep an eye on that. But no, there's yeah, I'll have words with him. No, I mean, Loic done well. He got a P3 in a similar situation to me. Turned up. He done well for Drake. I'm happy that I done well for Red Arrow. Thanks to David and Tom for giving me the opportunity today. But yeah, I mean, start of the race, we were ahead of Loic, and it was that thing where you're looking behind at him, but it didn't look like he was going to get ahead until I think he done it on strategy. And then we knew, I mean, I had the pace to keep with him. We were pretty much matching similar. And I was thinking at the end of the stint we'd catch him, because we'd done it for the other stints. And in the end we did. But it was much more we closed a lot more on the inters. And obviously because the last stint was on wets, it wasn't as much of a big deal. So, I mean, on a clean lap, we were matching. I may be closing here or there, but that's just the rain. There was, I think, 3 occasions where I ran really deep at turn 1, and Gobbi actually had a little look at me. But that's where I lost the time to him. But when I wasn't being silly, then yeah, we were matching him. So there's no reason why we couldn't have. But that's racing. You get P4 in these conditions, I think you've got to be happy.
Yeah. What is it with the FS1 holdovers in Superlights today, isn't it, Jack? It's yourself, Martin, Moynier, Vincent Gut, me in the
We've got
commentary
2
box.
races advantage over everyone else, so maybe it's that. But yeah,
It's
maybe
like
I'll be around.
everyone got a promotion today. Yeah,
Exactly. We deserved it. So
absolutely. Well, thank you very much for talking to us, Jack. And of course, with no bias whatsoever, best of luck to both yourself and Szymon in your FS1 campaigns, because that is quickly approaching its climax as well. With you still have that 50-point lead, is it?
I think it's just under. I think it's 47.
47. There we go. I wasn't far off. Yeah, I'm desperately trying to figure out what the teams championship looked like in Superlights today, and I think we just about figured out that our Road to Formula won it.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's going to be very exciting. Yeah, go on.
Just congratulations to Road to Formula and obviously Owen, who won it last race, I believe. Yeah,
the ADS at Singapore.
Yeah,
also
they've done
commentating on that.
Yeah, they've done really good. They deserved it. They put a lot of effort in, and I'm sure we'll see them all in Super League next year. I don't know where I'll be, but hopefully I'm not racing Owen. He's too scary.
Well, don't worry. He's nice when you get to know him.
I know
hopefully, whatever you do next year, Jack, it will be potentially as a FS1 champion, unless Szymon beats you, which could still happen.
We'll see. It's all to play for. Szymon's a good guy.
Yeah, he's being very graciously not butting in here to talk himself up, but he is the broadcast director, so it would take a lot of effort to unmute himself. But anyway, he has given some great insight to us in the commentary box throughout the race as well. So thank you very much to Szymon, and I mean that sincerely. Thank you as well to Jack talking to us, and congrats on 4th place for Red Arrow Racing.
Thank you. See you next week, or whenever you next commentate on me. See you later.
A couple of days, I guess.
See you later.
We have got Super League, of course, to look forward to, David, on 5th of October in 2 days' time on Thursday. So Caitlin Penny and I believe Ryan Elliott commentating on that. So very much looking forward to that. But I think we're just about running out of time, aren't we?
Maybe. That was...
Because I've sort of turned up halfway through this broadcast, I think you should end it, David. It would be a bit rude to steal that from you.
Well, I was just thinking my final thoughts together. Like I've had my own thinking. I saw tires barely last 10 laps here until they melt. We also got the fact that it doesn't matter if Carlos or Owen's driving the car, it wins. Even in the wet. So that was also ticked off the list. But yeah, it was a quite chaotic race. Well, it was wet, but a quite chaotic event and lots of action, and you can hear it that I'm kind of a bit tired now. Ed, you got any final thoughts or to the race?
I think Silvano Francesconi has typed in the chat, nice race, good night to all, which probably sums it up there. That's probably Michael Francesconi's abiding thoughts on that 2nd place as well. So it's sort of one that got away, I think, for Michael Francesconi in the end. If is literally the strategy caught out him and the TR cars because they were running, ironically, because he'd started on was doing less pit stop, having started on the Inters. That sort of went against Francesconi in the end because of his the strategy he chose. He couldn't really have reacted in time to go for wet tires, and in the end, Carlos Martin, as him and Sandeep Singh so rightly point out, they called it perfectly when the crossover point was to go to the wets, and everyone else followed that, like you heard from Jack Mayer as well. So, really interesting race. Great to see our Road to Formula sew up the title, as you say. They always seem to get someone amazing in that first car. And Owen McGorgy, I'm sure, will be celebrating that team's title almost as much as he celebrated winning the drivers last time out at Singapore. But wow, really great Japanese Grand Prix. Only 2 rounds left then in Superlights.
Yeah, that's true. Good point you brought back up back there. Could have been the downfall, but interesting thought. But yeah, as you said, 2 days Super League race, and then 2 weeks again we are off to Abu Dhabi Desert Marina Grand Prix. But this has been an interesting race evening for us, and I'm glad I was here and commentate on it. I'm thanking Szymon on the cameras here for the great work helping us out. I'm thanking Ed here for coming in later after his dinner and helping me out with this. And me, David Jundt, I'm also glad I was able to commentate on this. And I wish everyone a good night. Goodbye.